Okay, guys, we are live. For those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master this evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever this finds you, whenever this finds you. Today, we are carrying on with our special quarantine mini-campaign that we've been playing using Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, playing through the 2013 adventure Legacy of the Crystal Shard. And with me today are the stars of the Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign, the Quarantine Crusaders themselves. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you right now. First up is the host of Mr. Hobbs' Gamerhood, Jason Hobbs.
Wow, first up, I'm not used to that top billing.
Keeping on your toes.
I'm Jason Hobbs. I am playing Store, a professional soldier and amateur gambler. I'm a 4th level warrior.
Nice. Next up is John.
Hey everyone, I'm John. I am playing Falconer Hawkfriend. He is a Falconer Ranger, multi-classed, specialty police of Solinar, and he wants to see the sky.
Yes, after what he's been through. Third level Ranger, 3rd level specialty priest, right? Yeah, excellent. And next up is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Bruin, who is also a ranger and is 3rd level.
Excellent. Next up is Andrew.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew. I am playing Cola, a specialty priest of Clangdon, and I am now 3rd level.
Excellent. Geez, you guys are getting so far up there. Oh. Next up is Dave.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave. I'm playing Lex Wiltshire, a 3rd level half-elven ranger of Myliki, and yeah, today's special drink is tea.
Tea, yeah. It's Sunday morning.
It's frickin' Sunday morning, folks. Yeah. Come on.
I'm a dwarf. I make no such. I have tea.
Last but not least is Mo.
Hi, I'm Morris, and I'm playing Tom Branner, who is now a 4th level fighter.
Excellent. So, guys, we had a heck of a... I mean, it wasn't so much that we had a lot of events happen last time, but last session was a bit of a scary one. What happened last time, guys?
Well...
the trauma is still too fresh.
We're all traumatized.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I need some therapy sessions to get through, to be able to talk about it.
Wow.
Well, we tracked down in a large cavern, and we were ambushed by not a stalker, a cloaker.
Lurker.
Who managed to paralyze quite a lot of us, and was taken down by a combination of Grin, flaming balls of fire, running forward and trying to Molotov cocktail it, and getting crushed, and the Molotov cocktail going off altogether.
Yeah.
It was, as they say, a close-run thing, with, I think, everyone bar me on about 2 hit points.
Yes. Yeah, we had, 1 PC, 1 NPC go down. 2 PCs go down, 1 NPC. A group of 4 managed to take down that terror. And for those the players who missed it, this is what they faced.
Yeah, the 2 PCs that went, were literally knocking on death's door. We had to save them. With a fortune.
Yeah, geez, and
uglier in high def.
Oh yeah. They also are suffering. We have 2 characters, both Paldronor, the dwarf that you guys found, and Falcarel, who are suffering from. I think what's his name? Grim is also suffering from some kind of persisting injury, right?
Yeah, he's got his speed is halved, I think.
Oh yeah.
And he's got that eye thing. So
2/3, I think.
2/3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just for overland travel.
No, that's Falcarel's.
And I think
Falcarel's overland travel.
Oh yeah, Paldronor and Falcarel have crushed ribs and need to rest every 10 minutes. Yeah. For every 60 minutes of travel, and wilderness speeds are reduced by 2/3.
So effectively, it's like hiking with my 70-year-old parents.
Pretty
oh
much.
Gosh! All right.
So then after we defeated the beast, we went and tracked down a Talair, and that's where we discovered 200 gold worth of coin in silver, not minted by the dwarves, and a handful of gems that we had examined back in town, more worth some more coin. And then a suit of magic plate mail and a staff. The staff had been made by Durgar and was a staff of striking. And the suit of plate mail was a very kingly looking suit, but made by Drow.
Mm-hmm.
Suit of command, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was a plate mail +1 suit of command. So, all right. So we're gonna be picking up the scene. The guys did make the hike back, and what they found on the way back to the Battlehammer Hall was that the undead seemed, for one thing, they didn't hear the cries of any more mine runners. If there are mine runners out there still, they have they've gone, or they've gone silent. They also found that the few groups of other shambling dead they found seemed to lack the same kind of active malicious animus that the others did. They weren't seeking out the living. They just would respond. Our heroes took them down. But otherwise, they weren't, they did not seem to be the organized horde that they had been. So, our heroes got back, and then we left things with the guys just meeting up with Dane, Stokely Silverstream, and that's when we called it a session. So, we're going to pick up with you guys all having returned now. The sages that are part of the Dwarven community, they have identified the magic items for you. So you guys do know that, and you do know the way to activate them as well, too. So what is going to happen next, guys? The Dane has offered to throw or not offered, but he's going to be having a bit of, as best a kind of feast or spread for you guys as can be provided. What was your take on what Kessel did, on what happened to Kessel? You guys didn't face him down there, so what's your understanding of what's happening to Kessel now?
He's a coward. He hides behind his undead, and he hides behind creatures and doesn't want to come out on himself. We should go and hunt him down and make him pay.
Yeah.
He certainly implied that he was retreating, but he had, quote, allies that would... whether he's allied with the Dwarven faction, we're not totally sure.
Yeah. So, what do you think, guys?
Where would he retreat to? Deeper
Where would
in
he
the
retreat to?
mine? Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't get very far in the Temple of Clangadin. Although that might have just been...
Practically got into the main lobby.
He didn't talk to us in the temple. He only talked to us down in the mines.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I think from what Paldranor said, this was actually a cavern that leads down into the lower levels. I presume in game terms we do know of the Underdark.
You know that it exists,
even if it's just
but that's
more
it.
a myth rather than...
Yeah, I mean the particulars of it are like what Paldranor told you last time about how it's, if you think of the Earth as an ocean, that the abyssal depths found below are it's the dwarves themselves really just play in the shallows. They don't really, they don't delve so far down. And the two things that you found, or the things you found, the suit from the drow, or crafted by the drow, and the staff crafted by the Dvergar, those two things are from those, mysterious, hateful things that live in the depths of the earth.
Yeah, was it plate mail or full plate?
It is plate mail, not full plate.
Yeah, okay.
So... and the plate mail, it weighs 2/3 the normal weight of plate mail as well, because of the unusual material that it's made from. So, a couple things we'll talk about. First off, you will need someone give me a D2 roll, please. Oh, hold on, I'm just gonna check the Discord. Actually, I've got the rules summarized there. I need to add those weapon learning rules to the house rules. Maybe I'll do that tonight or today.
Weapon learning?
Sorry, the spell learning. Because I've got them in the Discord, but I don't have to keep going back here. Okay, so 2 days, and give me one more 1d2 as well, please. This will just tell us how long it's to. So it's going to take 4 days of downtime for Grim to really get himself or herself back up to snuff. So you're going to have a couple of days to recover, and what Dane Silverstream is going to do is send out some patrols to start just cleansing, knowing that these things are not haunted or not driven by some necromancer, and that those mine runners aren't going to be a persisting problem. He's going to propose, like, you guys relax for a couple of days. He'll send out the troops, enjoy their hospitality, and then you can talk about what you want to do next.
Maybe Paladinor can lead a company of dwarves now.
Paladinor is actually going to be seconded to you guys. He's both offered and asked to do that. So if you guys want to have it, Paladinor also, thanks to your guidance and his past experience, Paladinor is going to be a second level fighter now.
Sweet.
It'd be nice to have another dwarf in the party.
So you will have Paladinor will be basically a henchman for you guys until we say otherwise. So what? For this first night, he wants to have this this sort of the festival and whatnot. What do you guys want to do with this first night back? We can assume that Cola. What we said in fiction is that Cola, Brune, and Store, you guys were just affected by the fear effect of the cloaker early on, and just did not get a chance to get back and get in the fight. So you can assume that you were there. It's just that you weren't actively, and the fear effect, unfortunately, for anyone who didn't have their headlamp lit, you were running off into the darkness. So it's very well that someone could have stumbled and fallen or injured their ankle or something like that got subsequently healed. But you guys were part of that whole experience, and then you came back. Each of you, I believe, as well, to Cola, Brune, and Store, you guys each got 135 GP, and you can also take 135 XP for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
How very generous.
Hey.
Thank you.
So I can be a son of a bitch at other points.
150 GP, you said?
135.
135. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so 100. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. So what are you guys thinking here? What are we? I mean, first off, there's a couple things you need to talk over. Is you can talk to the Dane or any of his henchmen or henchwomen to talk about what the situation is. As you know, their previous focus was on this pressing undead threat, as opposed to Barrack. But I imagine Barrack is going to be a point of, and those damned hammerstones are going to be the next thing they want to focus on. Falcaril and Lex both talked about wanting to get some fresh air as well, and I was looking. Yeah, and it's only, it's about a half mile to get out there, so I think that you could probably make the run through this part of the things and get outside in time, so we can have you get out there and get back in time for the dinner.
Gotcha.
If you guys like.
Some sky.
How far to this, where that first gatehouse was?
That
miles,
is,
isn't it, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, there we go.
Yeah. There's a scale on the bottom there. So let's see here.
Because weren't we supposed to be meeting the Rhaegar soon?
Yeah, we were. There's a lot more trouble above land as well to deal with. So.
Yeah. You, it's actually been, so I can tell you, since you left, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. It's now the 2nd of Marpanoth. High Harvest Day has passed. This is the second day since the election. Whatever happened in Bryn Shander during the election, that was on High Harvest Day. And so 5 days, I think that he said it would take, 2 days to get to his people. So it could be any day now that you might be expecting to hear back from the Elk tribe. If it
Can
still
we send
remains, of
word?
course.
Can we send word to that gate and let them know that we're expecting a Rhaegar so they don't harass the guy? And...
Well, the gate.
controlled
We're
by our
not
enemies.
sure who controls
Oh,
the gate.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because we did
And just so you know,
come off some of the other dwarves.
the,
And we think maybe they've still got control.
so you understand the geography here too. Let's just quickly take a look at the big map here, the map of the Icewind Dale in general. Are we here? I gotta move this over. Come here, you. Okay. And all right, so this is the broader Icewind Dale here. Oh, there's a store right at the beginning of the Dwarven Valley. So the Dwarven Valley runs. Oh, I gotta move everyone out of the way here. Scooch, guys, scooch. Jeez. So the Dwarven Valley actually runs the length and ends at Kelvin's Cairn. The only real way to get into the Dwarven Valley is at the end here. Like unless you're scaling the sides or you've got some way to fly or something like that, it's through the entrance here, or there is a very precarious kind of switchback pass on the southern side of the Dwarven Valley called the Dale Drop. That's really, the Dale Drop is really the only way that anything coming from the north or coming from Kelvin's Cairn can get into the valley in an easy way. And it's really, Cola, you would know this just from having grown up here, and it's really kind of a relatively easily defendable choke point for things. The reason I mention that is only because if you take a look at the actual valley itself, it means that you either have to like go the length of the valley and then up through the Dale Drop and then cut across Kelvin's Cairn, and that's like at the foot of the biggest mountain in the region. Not easy going, and then you can head your way out, or it's heading back to the gate, the entrance to the Dwarven Valley in the south there, and then making your way over, just basically following the same route that Hengar would have followed.
Which is where we assume he would come back through, is the opening.
Yeah, he would have sent word back there, and I mean, he was with you when you guys faced those Hammerstone dwarves, right? The ones that were loyal to Barrack Hammerstone. So he's aware that there's something's going on in the valley. He just did not have time to deal with it. He had more pressing issues. So, does that help at all in terms of what you're planning for next here?
Well, could we ask the Dane, or one of his people, do they know who's got control of that gatehouse at the front, at the entrance to the valley?
It's still the Hammerstones. And the Hammerstones actually, they're sort of been keeping most of their people back, so it's really just a scout that noticed it. But yeah, the scout noticed that they've reinforced there, and that whole patrol, or that whole area went missing. So my son's playing with my dog. So it's unclear whether they blame the Dane Silverstream and and the dwarves allied with him, with them going missing, or whether they think it's just something else. Regardless, the Hammerstones have control of the thing again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we didn't. We did leave that prisoner. We didn't kill him, so I think we left him with some sort of tall tale. We let him over here.
Oh shit! Yeah, then they would know. Yeah. Okay, so they would know that
we
it's
did. I can't remember what we gave him a fake story, so I'm not sure.
We made it sound.
Totally.
I think we made it sound like we were gonna follow.
Yes, we were going to follow. So they're probably looking for someone coming in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Though, quietly, I'll say to us, well, that's assuming there are no spies in here for the other side. I'm going to say this when we're together, not in front of the...
not in front of Cola? Cola Hammerstone?
No, Cola as well. But,
I
Not
see
in front
it.
of the Dane.
So...
so could we even get there? That's the question, right, guys?
Well, if they've been
do we have to
heavily
resolve the
reinforced-
dwarven? Do we have to resolve the dwarven issues before we could even get out of the valley now, or do we have to fight our way out?
Well, I
Probably
was wondering if they'd
fight our
really
way out.
heavily reinforced the entrance. It would almost be a pitched battle to get out.
There's no
So
way
I think
to
we
know
could
unless
probably
we
get
go
out
there.
the other way, but obviously that's a long
Hmm.
detour because we'd have to go down over the pass and then round and up.
And by the time we get all the way up there, negotiate this, come all the way back, I don't think there's no time for that.
Hobbs,
we're
you were trying to say?
assuming that the
Hold
Dale
on,
drop isn't held against us.
Hold on. Hobbs, you were trying to say?
Yeah, the Dale drop is on their side, so using that is probably not going to work anyway. But we're not going to know anything unless we go look. We can suppose for an hour and a half, which we tend to do. So if we want to find out, we have to go there and check it out. Because my intention is to get as many people as we can to help fight whatever is happening in the big picture, right?
So you're thinking we have a scouting expedition after we've rested to the main entrance?
Yeah.
Does the Dane want the entrance? Does he want that gate back in his control?
Of
We should ask
course.
We should ask him. Maybe he'll help us.
Well, if we help take it, maybe he can then garrison it with
That's what I
people.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
I
take
think
it
that's a good
back
idea,
and-
actually. Maybe we should just ask the Dane. But I think we ought to go to this party first as well.
That's fine. We have all day before the party starts, right?
Yeah.
No. You guys got back in the evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
There's
Falcarel
enough time to run out into the valley and get back. Is what
No, I mean, like Falcarel and Lex are going to go and have a couple of minutes outside, and then be able to turn and
fresh
get
air.
back in time. Yeah, the two of them were just feeling the claustrophobia of having spent 2 days in the mines. So,
Have we heard anything else about the enemies? Like, has he heard anything since we've been gone?
no, they've been they've basically been dealing with the undead pushing at their doors. Like when you guys reached them or first found them, they were effectively being under siege. They couldn't even turn their attention to dealing with the hammerstones while the this undead threat was bedeviling them. Now, however, they definitely will want to talk about that. So first, let's deal with the Falcarel and Lex. Falcarel and Lex. Hold on. First off, let's just quickly check in with Jeff. Jeff, what are you thinking about these plans? What's Brune feeling?
Well, Bruin definitely is much more concerned with the greater threat outside of the Dwarven Valley than the dwarves' problems. But if we have to fight through their problems to get there, that's fine. He's probably been having a couple drinks back at the Dwarven hold. As much as he wanted to go with Lex and Falcarel to get some fresh air, he preferred to just have a few beverages.
Sure. Okay.
Not drinking tea.
He's not drinking. No. Okay, so Brune is slamming back some drinks with maybe with Paldronor beside you too, toasting to lost comrades because Paldronor lost a lot of friends in that in that incident.
That's right.
Hold on, I'm gonna close the door. Just one sec here.
Terror hounds. Everybody roll initiative.
All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. So, Falcarel and Lex. It's a little bit of it's I guess to be honest, I mean only a few minutes probably for you if you guys are at a moderate pace, probably 15 minutes I guess to sort of jog to the entrance. The gates are sealed when you get there too, but the dwarves, recognizing that you are the ones that were in service to the Dane, they throw the door open, and as they do, there's an Arctic gale that hits you. And outside the you can't even see the other side of the I mean it's dark outside as well too. It's evening. But on the far side of the you can't even see the far side of the valley at this point because of the blowing snow and the howling wind.
Well, disappointing as that is, I'm glad to feel that no rock above my head for the moment.
Sure. So you guys step out into the cold. Now, we haven't had neither of you guys have talked a bit. I mean, you seem to come from somewhat similar backgrounds, but I mean, obviously different places as well. Mm-hmm. So this is the first time you guys have had a quiet moment together. What's going through your minds?
This is freaking cold.
Yeah, it's like in comparison to the warmth of the mines, this wind cuts right through you. As cold as it is on the surface of the Icewind Dale, when it is funneled along this valley here, it just... Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm from Neverwinter Wood, so like literally, it's named as such because of the heating of the river that runs through the wood keeps it warm.
Yeah,
it's heated by a mine or a mountain. So yeah, this is.
I think Cola,
maybe this wasn't the best choice.
Cola's gonna notice this, and with all his heavy coat and everything. I mean, this is a little worse than normal for him, but still within the realm of he's fine. I'm gonna go over to Lex and just kind of elbow and from underneath. I'll give him I have a little flask.
Nice.
This will help, lad.
If you don't grow up here, this'll help. Yeah, Falgro, he just stares out there. He hails a bit closer to the Cloud Peak Mountains, so he's not unadapted to these kind of cold. The gales and whatnot are new, but he traveled up fairly high north to get here, like we all did. He's just glad for the fresh air and just quiet, solemnly looking out. Like the caves didn't become his tomb, like it tried so many times.
Well, and like the, like we mentioned before too, now you're back out in the elements too. This winter it is so much colder and fiercer than any you've faced. And from what the residents of Bryn Shander and other locals like Brune have told you, this is not the way that the winters normally go.
Yeah.
So you guys are maybe passing the flask back and forth between each other. That's when you hear something far off.
Did you hear that?
I hear wind. Something else.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Something large and loud flew overhead.
Yeah, caves are looking a little more inviting at the moment.
Not anything that I would normally I don't have a natural instinct of oh, this is.
It sounded big. It sounded.
Creature we just faced.
Yeah, it sounded. If you've traveled down to Luskan, maybe the closest equivalent is you've heard in the ocean winds, the winds that come off the Sword Coast. The sails can whip back and forth, flap, flap, with that kind of snapping of heavy, thick canvas. It sounds sort of close to that, almost like the beating of mighty wings, larger certainly than the wings you heard in that cavern. And you also heard something give a throaty growl. As you stare up at the white and snow-filled skies, you can't for the life of you to figure out what that was.
I'll turn to Cola. Do you have many large flying beasts in the valley?
No. Certainly not that big.
What? How old is Cola again?
Oh, what did I say he was here? He's 54, so he's a youngin' for a dwarf.
So the last large flying thing that you remember from this is actually something I have a visual aid for.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm Batman.
Ladies and gentlemen at home, people in viewer land, this is not what the players want to hear.
Here you go, Dave.
That's what I pictured.
A century ago, there was a white dragon that was a basically like a constant trouble off on the shore, on the slopes of Kelvin's Cairn, and his name was Icing Death. Now, he died over 100 years ago. So whether that is, possible that it returned.
My nana would have told me stories about this.
Definitely, yeah. Icing Death is, and as a refresher, I guess it is for this. One of the cool things that AD&D Second did do is steal a concept from the Dragonlance setting and make it a default thing. That dragons, their very presence causes fear. So there is, your Nana could even tell you, like, even when it flew 200 feet overhead, it would scatter armies. The brave men of the Ragged tribes would see their nerve shatter under just the presence of this thing.
Fair enough.
But again, he's been dead for a century, right?
That's what Nana said.
But if it had offspring, 100 years to grow.
Well, and I will, and then as I'm looking up, I'll say, well, the stories didn't say what they did with the body.
Oh no.
Hey,
very
there's a
true.
necromancer in the neighborhood.
Very true.
Necromancer in the neighborhood? Oh, that's not good.
Oh no. A very white dragon.
One other thing I'll point out too, so like a lot of the dragons are creatures of as much like embodiments of magic and an unnatural power and the primal elements as as they are physical flesh and in the same way that the elves in a way are creatures of magic, dragons are even more so that. And white dragons just happen to have that association and that infusion with the elemental, power of cold. And as they grow older and as they grow more powerful, that just continues to manifest around them. They can't help but have that going off. It's said that you could, on the hide of elder red dragons, you could fry steaks on them without ever having to, suffer their cataclysmically damaging breath. The same is said of the white dragons.
We should go in and talk to the Dane and let him know what we just heard.
Okay. So as you guys come back in,
want to keep the people from going outside if there's a dragon of any kind out there.
But did you see a dragon?
Nope.
We didn't hear. We don't know what we saw. Heard.
Okay. So you guys head back in, and by the time you get back, Brune is a couple of drinks deep with Paldranor, his new dwarf ally. What are Store and Tom doing? You would have had about an hour or so after you got back from the mines to recover. Falcarol, Lex, and Cola wanted to go and get some fresh air immediately. What have Store and Tom been up to?
I think Tom will be trying and find a bath. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
have a soak for an hour or so with a beer or two.
Okay.
We've been running and gunning for about 3 days on the trot, so he
Sure.
must.
And Hobbs?
Yeah, cleanup would be the goal for Store.
Okay. So
Maybe
you guys
have an individual conversation with the Dane if he allows it, just to talk about him, leader to leader,
Sure. So why don't we say this, that you two have finished cleaning up, like Tom and Store, you got an opportunity to enjoy the kind of what the kind of dwarven baths they could offer given their limited circumstances. But the one thing you find is the tubs are a little snug. So we have, baby in a teacup kind of situation. But you guys get yourselves cleaned up. You're wearing, I think, probably like loner clothing. So it's probably a little bit too small for you in some ways and a little baggy in some other ways.
Yeah, I think I had some spare.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I left all the heavy stuff back here, so the tents and other stuff. So I did have a change of clothing.
Store, since you were starting with a blanket over your shoulder, I'm guessing you do not have a set of second.
Okay.
Okay, so you're given some loner clothing. I think Lex, Cola, and Falcrel, you guys can picture you're all sort of staying in the same. One of these dwarven homes has been turned over to you guys, so the ceilings are a little low as you're kind of moving around in here, but it's still quite homey and warm. You guys come in as Storr and Thomas are getting ready to go. Jeff, do you think Brune is drinking here, or is he drinking at kind of a common area?
Probably here.
Okay. So you and Paldranor are just, drinking and bullshitting as Lex, Cola, and Falcrel come in. Now you guys you're probably a little wet because from running back, it's probably a combination of the snow that landed on you that melted with sweating from running. Cola more so than Lex and Falcrel, because Cola definitely would have had to be putting in the extra pace in order to keep up with his half-elven comrades. So what happens as the three of you guys come running back in here? Storr and Tom, you guys are squeaky clean and getting ready.
Look at Storr and Tom. Go. Oh, cleaning up for the banquet would have been smart. Shit. Well, I'll just kind of grab a cloth and some water and clean up my face and try and make myself presentable.
It seems like a good idea,
but also want to grab some drink and give a cheers to whoever's got a cup in their hand and have that nearby while I'm cleaning up.
So you guys aren't mentioning what you saw or heard about?
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh yeah.
That's to come, but that I can do that other stuff while.
Okay.
Yeah. We will definitely tell them about the wing beats we heard on the wind and how big it seemed.
So what do you say?
You saw a what?
We were out on the cliff face and it was galing with the Arctic winds and we couldn't see the other side, but far above us I heard what sounded like the beatings of very large wings similar to sailcloths that you hear in the whipping winds of the ocean. And Cola had a story that came to mind about this ancient dragon they killed 100 years ago. So
we didn't see a dragon.
That's good news, right?
But the wings were definitely much bigger than what we faced in the cavern.
Paldranor says, "Oh, that dragon's been dead for longer than we've been alive. Come on. You're hearing things. You spent too long down in the mines and just the new sounds outside. You're confused by them, that's all." He kind of hits Brune, like, come on, you're friends.
I'm not worried about a white dragon as so much as I am one about, an undead dragon.
Yeah, I think Cola mentioned the story, but I don't think he actually. He doesn't think this is an actual dragon. He just thinks it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, it looked like a dragon?
We didn't see anything.
We didn't see it. We just heard big flapping, booming wings. Or what sounded like them.
And then you ran away.
No, we came back.
We casually strolled outside.
Well, Cola was running, but that's necessary.
Oh, no.
Brune's just teasing, of course.
We could just, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Storr?
I don't know. Something in my mouth.
So then,
I say we stick to the plan.
Maybe it's a trick of Kessel.
Maybe.
Could be.
Maybe it's not some ancient white dragon. Maybe it's some, younger offspring that no one knew about, or maybe it's not a dragon at all. Maybe it's just some large creature.
Well, he could make us hear his name, so
the one thing that Cola, or having grown up out here, and Brune, you likely could as well. This weather is ideal hunting weather for white dragons. White dragons love their prey frozen. It's said that their breath can freeze a living thing solid, and they love the crunching, sensation of that in their fangs. So this kind of weather would just be ideal for a hungry young thing to be racing around.
I think Brune would tell everyone that. I mean, not to scare you or anything, but this is kind of ideal conditions.
I'm
Well,
sure we're
and does
fine.
it also
Everything's fine.
does it also tie into this winter and the goddess that is on the rise? Like, I don't know.
Potentially.
Maybe she's got pets. Either way, I think we should carefully mention this to the Lord, because the Dane's going to need to know that if there's a threat out there, you don't want his people running outside and getting chomped or frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But maybe not in a place where it's public and he, if he's surprised or if he's shocked or something like that, it's read by others. Maybe it's a private conversation.
Sure.
Right.
Well, Storr was just hoping to have a private conversation with the Dane as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He had just sent word to try and have a private word with him beforehand, so he's just waiting to hear back. Tom, what are you thinking of all this? Ooh, Mo?
Well, yeah, it could be the ally that the necromancer mentioned. It could be something totally different, and it could also be something to do with the White Lady.
Oh, the White Witch.
Sorry, the White Witch that we heard about.
Or all of
But
the
I
above.
think we ought to celebrate our successes this evening, and then maybe talk to the Dane, possibly in the morning, about what we should do next.
Well, you guys
It
do
does
have
feel
a...
like-
you do have a meeting with the Dane in a few minutes here before the
Alright.
feast. So
I think we need to discuss with him, because I think
sure.
it sounds like we may be both ways out of the valley, maybe in the hands of the other faction.
Okay.
And obviously, this hearing this flying thing may or may not be directly related, but we know there's other stuff going on. The stuff at Bryn Shander, the stuff that's going on with the various tribes up north. Sorry, I mean northwest, actually, looking at the compass rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we need to talk to the Dane,
Okay.
see what he's got to say, and then
So
we can fill
let's-
him in and then decide the next course of action.
Sure, let's transition to that scene then. So you guys finish cleaning up, you get yourselves ready. Paldronor is going to meet you at the feast. He won't carry on. And he looks, I mean, dwarves are fairly sturdy and steady fellows, but he does look a little wobbly as he's, I think only Cola would really notice it because of how, otherwise even-keeled the dwarves are. But a lot of you get together and you find yourself back down in Battlehammer. I can't remember if it's Battlehammer Hold or...
That's what he gets for trying to keep up with Bruin.
Yeah. Really. So I think it's Battlehammer Hold. Let's see here. Hold, yeah. Look at that.
Yep.
So, you guys make your way down into Battlehammer Hold, and you're brought to the second floor of this. You actually, one of those, sort of the alcoves that's on the side of the main chamber leads you up to a second story. And there is a, probably what was like a war room that was converted over into sort of a quarters / audience hall or audience chamber for the Dane. So as you walk in, you can see he's getting kind of dressed up, and he's talking to one of another dwarf who's dressed in full, kind of armor, and bears the Silverstream crest on it. And the dwarf kind of nods to him, "Yes, my Dane," and heads out as you guys head in. And Dane Silverstream sees you walk in and says, "Oh, so you're joining us for the feast. I hope you're not planning on leaving before the festivities. This is a great success and a great triumph, and those have been few and far between for my people these last few months."
Mm-hmm.
No, we have no intention of leaving before the feast.
It's good to hear. Though I saw from Paldronor, I'd ask you that he seems not able to keep up with your ways. Try and keep him to a wee bit less. Eh?
Perhaps.
It'd be a shame to see him not felled by that cloaker and then dropped by dwarven ale. No?
For sure.
Certainly a better way to go.
You may appear an elf, my friend. I think you've got a dwarf's heart. What did you want to see me about?
A few things. Wanted to see if you'd heard anything else about the dwarves across the valley, what their intentions were. Or...
From what I can tell, nothing's changed. We've heard that the Hammerstones have taken back the entrance to the valley at the south, though the Dale Drop still remains in our control. They seem less concerned with the north end of the mountain, though we have seen many of them prior to all of this. We know that they came down from there. Hammerstone himself spent time up on Kelvin's cairn. We don't know where the black ice is coming from, though we suspect it may be from there.
There is a... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so have you guys mentioned Kessel to him yet, by name?
No.
Okay.
We probably should, though.
I wanted to talk to you and my friends here about what happened down in the mines and who this necromancer may have been.
Aye, please. Continue.
Well, I found myself out of the final confrontation, so perhaps one of the others would like to fill you in.
Out of it? Well, you're injured.
Yes. I'm all right now, I think.
Aye.
So you want to talk about the creature or about
whatever,
what led to it?
Go crazy.
Well, I think the most disconcerting part of the entire trek for me was that the whole way through, while we were in the mines, whether we were traveling through the tunnels with Paljanor or even in the Great Cavern where we fought was it a cloaker? The big flying beast.
Mm-hmm.
A voice kept talking to us, taunting us, and the voice called himself Kessel, and we found that odd.
Sorry,
Cola filling us in on the history.
Did you say Kessel?
Yes.
Indeed.
He called himself Kessel. We have no way of knowing whether it was the one from, history of the Dale here.
Well, he certainly thought he was.
And he
was driving the undead.
The appearance of this necromancer calling himself Kessel and this black ice at the same time, along with the change in demeanor of the Hammerstones. I mentioned that the Hammerstones came from the north. They were digging up somewhere on Kelvin's cairn. Not unusual for our kind, mind you. But he was up there, and with someone who'd hired him. But 100 years ago, when Kessel was alive, it's on the slopes of Kelvin's cairn where Cryshal Tirith rose, the crystal tower from which his army set forth to conquer these lands.
Wonder if they were digging for the remnants of that?
For the remnants of that, or perhaps for Kessel himself. His body was never recovered, at least so the tales say. He died, but never was brought back. Do you think it's possible that someone brought him back and is using the power associated with that tower. Is that the source of our troubles?
Even if they didn't bring him back, and they have a necromancer who claims to be or of the lineage or something, that is still seems to be part of the problem.
Well, I've heard that the reason Hammerstone, and forgive me for speaking out of time, Brother Cola, but your father, your uncle, he was I did not know him, but he was not one to stand out in his community. He was not a leader. From all I've heard, he was a solid dwarf, but not one with ambitions beyond his station.
That's true. That's kind of that's always been our family's tradition. We stick to our own. We quietly mind our own affairs and stay out of those of others. And this is,
I can appreciate you've been gone for a long time. When your mother contacted you, did she say why he was traveling with men and women from the 10 towns? Or at least humans?
Wait, sorry. When Cola's mother contacted him, did she explain why he was traveling with humans?
Well, what we've since heard is that when he went out, you appreciate it's unusual for humans to be heading out of the Dale Drop. At the best, it's dwarves. There's little to be found up there apart from trouble or mining expeditions. But we've heard that it was a human. Someone who travelled in from the 10 towns. Whether they're originally from there or not, I don't know. But he travelled up with them. And then came back with those covered wagons.
I don't actually recall, when we discussed the...
No, you haven't. No, it's not something you missed. He's just asking about it. It's...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
then,
from... The correspondence you would have received would have been long before, it would have been sent long before any of the current troubles have been going on.
Yeah, and as far as I know, the only thing my mother discussed in the letter was that she was ill and needed to see me. That was it. There was no even mention of my uncle.
Strange. And you think this Kessel has fled then?
Maybe regrouped. You mentioned allies.
The loss of control. This is what the wise men in my council tell me, that the fact that they've lost control now and that they are just the hungry dead suggests he's gone, or at least relinquished control. Has he invested so much in that cloaker that it weakened him? Or did he simply leave to plot anew elsewhere? You don't know who these allies are that he spoke of.
No. But
we have more news, yes.
More news.
I'm going to say that we thought he was somewhat boastful, and maybe he's talking a good game.
Did he mention anything else? In his boasts, did he say anything else?
He said he had the shard.
He had the shard. If he had the shard, why did he not raise that tower again then? Unless...
He doesn't know how.
Or unless he has raised it elsewhere. Though...
And not to add to the problems that are already discussed, but 3 of us went out for some fresh air just before meeting with you, and while we were outside, we heard something. We don't know exactly what it was, but we do know that the sound, it was similar to a ship's sails cracking in the wind. Big, thick, heavy canvas. Something flew overhead.
You're saying there's a flying ship?
No, we're saying there's something with wings potentially as big as ship sails. Much bigger than the creature we fought in the cavern. We didn't get a chance to see it. It was blizzardy out. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but you should be aware of such in case you keep your people indoors or whatever you decide.
Did you see this thing? Did
No.
you set eyes on it?
Visibility was
We heard it roar. We heard it roar, though, did we not?
Growl.
It growled. Yeah, it did let out some really large growl.
So the growls. Just when we think we've rid ourselves of one curse, another raises its head. Well, we appreciate you. Do you think there's a connection between Kessel and that thing? Or something else? We've not seen any flying things here. No griffins, no hippogriffs, no dragons in over a century. What?
Yeah. Given the conditions, though, yeah, it's literally blizzarding out so bad that we couldn't see the other side of the valley.
Oh, aye. We've not been able to send runners out for fear of losing them. Even the straight line of the paths along the valley, I worry that in the minute bends they may walk themselves off and plummet to their deaths. We pray this passes in a day or so. Well,
have we talked to him previously about the White Witch or the?
Yes, because we did see something in the snow, didn't we? When the Yetis attacked, I think.
One of you guys did, yeah. I can't remember who it was, but someone did.
So we could mention that and say, well, we think quite a lot of things are stirring that we thought were dead or gone and forgotten.
A White Witch.
Attack of Yetis. Is a beast of winter that far off, given what's going on outside?
That's strange.
And the strange attack of the wolves, so maybe we should investigate the site of this shard with a previous crystal tower.
If you can find it. The location
Do you have
of
any
it
old
has been-
maps in the in your records we could look at, maybe?
You're welcome to what we've access to. Though, to be true, most are either in the temple, which still is rife with undead, or in the western side of the valley, where most of our records are kept.
You mean Eastern?
Eastern, forgive
Yep.
me.
Held by the Hammerstones?
Yes. Though, if you're hoping to find the location of the tower, it came and went with such ferocity that the specific location was always lost. Had we known, we certainly would have taken steps to ensure anything remained of that devil Kessel would have been destroyed. You must understand, if you think that the weather here is fearsome, you've not seen Kelvin's cairn. Even in the summer, in the height of summer, it can have snowstorms drive up with no warning, as if the mountain itself is turning against you. That's the reason it seems so peculiar that Beric brought with him and his kin those men from the 10 towns.
From the 10 towns.
Aye, humans.
Right, but something's going on.
Well, yeah, before this all happened, remember, as an aside, Dave, Hammerstone Cola's uncle was just guiding them, and And then when he returned, that's when all the crazy shit happened.
Right. But I was thinking even in 10 towns, with the upstart trying to take over Bryn Shander.
It's all madness.
Yeah.
Much like it was 100 years ago when the problem started, I think. It was a multifaceted issue.
Aye. If there is this White Witch and the Necromancer and this Black Stone and whatever you saw or heard out there, I feel there's an ill will behind all of this. And the weather.
We'll need to find a way to band together allies. Well, the folks of the 10 towns and
Agreed.
the dwarves in your care, because the bigger picture is this White Witch.
You had mentioned an ally amongst the tribes.
Yes.
A tribesman.
Rhaegar. No.
Hengar.
Hengar of the Elk tribe?
We've heard no word from him. What was he to come here then?
I think we were going to meet him at the gate.
He offered to help. They were stalwart allies 100 years ago, in the time of Brunor. But things have changed much in the intervening years. Hard and lean times have made for strains on those relationships. Though
we had considered trying to get to the gate to meet him, but the gate's not in your control, is it?
Not at present, no, though you proved more than a match for them before. Tell me, what is your plan then? You've done more than we could have asked before you set forth on this. And we, of course, will be paying what was due. But what do you intend next then? We can express our appreciation, but with this persisting threat of the dead in the mines and the Hammerstones still claiming control of our valley, and if this black ice has some connection with Kessel, I can't let my people last, or more of them fall under the sway of this. Brother Cola, I know your mother is a Hammerstone as well too, but she's not among our numbers, which means she's thrown in with him, which means she may be under the sway of this black ice as well.
Out of respect for his position, Cola knows better than to contradict a Dane, but Cola's got some thoughts about that.
Yeah. So, I think all we see then is just your face flush red.
I think what I would like to
say, she may actually be held prisoner.
That's, I think, what Cola. At this point,
we don't know how many of the other dwarves are controlled by these ice badges.
I can't
imagine they have enough magical.
I don't mean to suggest she's a weak woman. I don't mean she's a weak woman at all. I've seen dwarves that I trust, we've served beside, who've completely changed by this black ice. That's why I sensed it. One of you touched it as well, no? Then you ken the pull that this could have on her.
With the utmost of respect, Dane, what I know is I received a letter from my mother beckoning, calling me back home. This was months ago. I cannot speak to what has happened since. I know my mother. I know what the effects I've seen, the effects that this crystal can have on this black ice can have on people. And certainly, what you suggest as a possibility has crossed my mind. At the same time, I was told she was ill. I don't know if she is acting under duress, if she's acting under control, if she's been captured, if she's in cahoots with them. And yet I cannot go and seek her out. Whether because of the weather is physically keeping me from there, or because going to the Hammerstones would no doubt be too dangerous, and I may not be able to come back.
You may be, Brother Cola, you may be one of the only ones who could safely go and see. Your blood links you to them, and may prove, unless you're the survivor has revealed that you don't stand with Beric, then they may be none aware. We have not seen blood between our clans yet, though that, I'm certain, is a matter of time. If you could reach him, your uncle, your mother, and somehow free them and our people from the sway of the black ice, you would be a greater hero to our people than even Bruno.
Well, Dane, that sounds it's a bit hyperbolic. We're
dwarves. That's how we speak.
I assure you that I want nothing more than to make sure my mother is safe and healthy. It is destroying me to not. That was my priority. That is my entire purpose for returning to the Dale. But I have had to temper that expectation with the reality of what is happening, and I am clamoring. I am eager to go. I am simply aware that there is danger in doing so.
Oh, aye.
But I will go, if both to make sure she's okay, and because it is clear that some of the answers we seek can only be had through finding out what is going on in my hold. And so, I'll go. I should warn you, Dane, that I may have to convince them that I support Beric in this, and I may have to put on a facade in order to do this. And so I just warn you, my loyalties remain to the valley and to our people as a whole, and to you, but I will have to make it appear otherwise for the time being.
Aye. You've proven the
if we can help.
You've proven the metal and truth of your heart, Cola. I'll accept that. It burns like a forge. Your loyalty and duty. Lex.
If we can help you reunite the dwarves, do we have your commitment as the leader of the dwarven community to ally with us and the 10 towns against the powers of winter?
Oh, aye. Times may have passed, and we may find ourselves distant from that, and those connections may have frayed. But we dwarves remember our oaths. We are part of this Dale, and if this ancient evil has revealed itself again, when we are able, we will stand with the people of the Icewind Dale.
Excellent. Don't get me wrong, I don't speak for the Dale, but I'm just curious as to where you guys stand.
We will. If what you say is true, if the devil Kessel is back, if there are dragons a-wing in the Icewind Dale, it behooves all of us to stand together and defeat this evil. But until this corruption of the black ice is dealt with, we are too weak as a people to stand alongside the rest of the Dale, the tribes, the folks of the 10 towns, and you. Store, was there something else?
No, I think that covers it. I think between our choices, we could take Cola to the battle to the Hammerstone side, or free open that Keep the gate free for the Rhaegar tribesmen when they arrive.
The Rhaegar tribesmen are no doubt doughty warriors, tough people. To be out amongst the plains and tundra of the Icewind Dale and live there, hardy people. Some might even say as doughty as the dwarves. But do you think even they could navigate in this weather? Assuming that whatever problems they've had. You said that he was your friend, Hengar? That his people was bedeviled by this White Witch as well. You say the White Witch was there, attacking them, and also at the site of these Yeti in the 10 towns? That's days of travel between them. Does that mean she's been chasing him the whole time? Or is she free to move across the length and breadth of the Dale?
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, aye. Then, you have the weather. This winter has been unlike any I've seen in my years. So I'd hope that this storm passes, and in time those passes will open, and you will be able to navigate. There is also a way. There are old tunnels, abandoned long ago, but tunnels that go deep under the valley, and go from here over to the eastern side. You could navigate those, though no, the maps to navigate them are sadly on the far side, and you'd be going on your own, no wherewithal, your own instincts as to how to reach there. And Moradin or Dumathoin knows, or Dumathoin only knows what lurks in those depths now, abandoned by Kessel. Or you could brave this weather. Our dwarves, I've forbidden our patrols from traveling in this weather, but they don't have the eyes or ears or instincts for such things the way that some of you do. You've already reaching here in this weather. I would not have thought it possible, though you seem to have done so. So, what is your plan then? Or perhaps we should enjoy our meal. You think this over. See what Clangadin says to you, Brother Kola, and then make your decision tomorrow.
Yeah, Thomas
Yes.
would agree that a full meal and a sleep on it, and maybe have a conference together tomorrow morning over breakfast.
And we thank you for giving our people an opportunity to thank ye. They need an opportunity to celebrate. As you say, Kola, our people are big in the way we talk, but that's because our heroes give us strength and spirit. Allow us to celebrate you as such tonight, and you'll see that none like the dwarves can show proper deference and gratitude to its heroes. And you hear kind of a knock at the door. The door opens, and you see another dwarven servant kind of comes in and says something to him. He says, "Forgive me. I believe all the time I have now. I'll be happy to try and speak to you at the celebration as well. And tell me tomorrow what you plan. Tonight, leave those cares aside. The walls are thick, our gates are holding, and tonight we have a warm hearth, a full mug, and soon a full belly." He nods, and you guys are let out. So, We're going to take our mid-session break in a moment here, but if you guys can think, what I'll suggest you think about is like if there's anything you want to do during the celebration, what any proposed course of action. Those are just the three sort of courses of action that the Dane seems to know. Travel underneath the deep mines, to go through the weather, regardless, or just to wait and see if this weather passes and then travel. So if you guys have other suggestions of what to do, or perhaps to set this behind and go and seek out your ally with the Ragged Tribes, I'll leave it to you guys. So let's take our break now, guys. I'll take the pooch outside, think it over, and then we'll decide what we're going to do for the rest of the session when we get back.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
We make any decisions?
I was thinking about it. Not too keen on going outside in a blizzard and getting attacked by a dragon. Tunnels, yeah. We gotta wait a few days if we want to bring Grim with us, because he's got his spells to handle. No, honestly, tunnel seems the best bet, but it seems the most dangerous too.
Yeah, tunnels.
Honestly, if we want to go deal with the Rhaegar tribe, we'd have to deal with outside as well.
What do you guys think about? I mean, can't we just go under treaty and see what's going on over there with using cola as our insurance policy?
Oh yeah, if Cola can get us in, yeah, I'm all for helping resolve this dwarf issue. Because
That's assuming that they act rationally, though.
Yeah, there's no sure allies in dwarves if you can get them.
I just kind of feel like we probably have a key to get in with cola, right?
Mm-hmm. Certainly seems like the path of least resistance at the moment.
But that wouldn't be the tunnels. That would be just walking across the valley, right?
Well, there's no walking across. It's all the way down and then up again.
Well, they said they control the Dale drop. So...
Yeah, I think the Dale drop is on their side of the valley. There's no path from here to here. We'd have to go all the way down and up.
No, there's a path.
You sure?
Because he said that the Dane said that the silver streams control the Dale drop.
Oh, maybe I misheard that then. Because we're on this side.
I know.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd say let's infiltrate the other side. See what we can learn.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it infiltrate, just peace mission, right?
True.
Diplomatic effort.
Well, given the reaction last time,
Assume
Sort
that
of
it's a
very
peace
much
mission,
act
but
on
be
sight.
prepared for it not being a peace mission if they choose not that path.
Yeah, but we had Silverstream with us, and that's kind of what caused the problem before.
Well, and also when they asked Cola who the master of the valley was, he said the name.
Yeah, that did not go well.
I'm just saying he answered the way in which they would attack us. Like, now we know better of what's going on here.
Yeah.
I was checking in with chat to see if someone, anyone else read the Crystal Shard? Right, because right now I'm squealing in anticipation and need to know someone else's.
No, I haven't. I'm sorry.
I just bought it, but I promised I would not read it. Well, also I don't want to spoil things for myself, so.
This is 100 years after. You guys go nuts.
After.
Yeah. Crystal Shard, Streams of Silver, and whatever the fuck the third one's called. None of that will spoil anything for this adventure. It'll just augment.
I bought the campaign setting and guide.
Oh yes, no, that will. Yeah. Well, it will spoil things, but I'm going to talk to you afterwards as well about the changes I've made, because like anything else, like this particular campaign set does encourage you to make a lot of your own changes and the timing of things and whatnot. So. Which is really good. I think it's a solid adventure specifically because of that. It's not they open up and just play through the specific encounters. You do a little more of like the DM craft than just that. Let's see here. Massive beat of wings. Oh yeah, Steve the NPC. Sorry, he missed. He's like, there's a dragon. I missed all the notifications. Sorry, Steve. But as a happy reminder that if you want to be sure to not miss the stream starting, be sure to click on the subscribe and the bell icon. And the bell icon, you can set your permissions or whatever, or the not permissions. What is it? The notifications for different things. I think you can do the same thing for Mr. Hobbs's Gamerhood too if you're joining us on Twitch as well. And that is, I think you do need to be following the Mr. Hobbs's Gamerhood in order to do that. Is that right, Hobbs?
That's right, sir. Thank you.
Nice. We sound like fucking morning hosts.
You need to have a Hobbs and Friends t-shirt
Morning.
too. Like, come on.
With Kevin Hobbs.
That's right.
All right. Okay. We need to rope one more person in, and I can finally use that name Three-Headed Etten for for our morning show. All right. Anyway, back to the Icewind Dale. So it sounds like I walked in on you guys discussing some plans here. What are you guys thinking?
Oh, we don't want you to know.
We're gonna go in secret, Kev. That way, there's fewer.
Yeah, not a bad plan. It's the D&D
Well, I think
equivalent of what do you call it? Of Scotland Yard. You're Mr. X. I don't know where the fuck you're going.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I think we've got 3 or possibly 4 options. Was to try and go underneath and come up behind.
Okay.
That'll go well.
Go outside, and then effectively we'd have to go to the end of the valley and then walk back down the other side in a howling blizzard. Or wait.
That's
I mean,
only
the other
3
option for the tunnels, if we think the sort of maps are in the temple, maybe if Kola knows where the library is, we could stage a careful expedition to get some maps to maybe help with the going underground.
So that's an interesting
But we
question.
also had that staff that detects your depth and the next upward stairs. So we could use that to help us navigate under, I think. And also, I think we need to get that plate armor refitted for someone before we
Now
on.
comes the difficult rolling for loot part of any campaign. We've got a staff of striking that any priest or any wizard can use. We also have the armor, and the armor, I think anybody who's trained in using plate mail, any of you guys can use it. And that's not one of the types of magical items that can malfunction in the hands of a dwarf. So what are you thinking, guys?
I have no interest in either one of them.
Okay.
I can just see me charging the thing up, my falcon lands on it, and goodbye,
Okay.
bird.
What are the rest of you guys? Who? How about this? Who wants? It sounds like Grim is carrying the staff of striking right now. Do you want to leave the staff of striking with Grim, or does someone else want to lay claim to it, or not lay claim, but like put their name in a hat for it?
I feel like he deserves it.
He did almost die. Yeah.
A couple times.
Yeah.
Again?
and in a very spectacular way.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
was
Okay, so let's assume.
Yeah.
Unless you guys tell me otherwise, then I'm going to assume that Grim is getting the staff of striking. So that's great. What about this plate armor? Who is interested in using the plate armor? Okay, Tom is interested in it. Store, are you interested in the plate armor?
Sure.
Okay. How do you guys want to resolve it then?
Well, I wasn't there. I mean, if you want to take it, that's fine. I mean, I'm always in the front. I'm going to be with the plate or not. So it doesn't matter. Obviously, I would survive longer, but it's up to you, Tom.
Your respective armor classes right now, Tom has a 3 AC and Store has a 2 when he's using a shield.
What's Cola's AC?
5. Wait, can Priest use plate?
I don't think so.
I can't remember.
I believe it says right in the Clankadan thing that the members of your clan will brandish their plate mail and axes.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they don't use shields.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're with everything. Yeah, they don't use shields. So yeah, so Cole is another one who could potentially use this.
I wasn't there.
What the well, I mean,
I wasn't there either.
But that's just part of this type of campaign, though, with the drop in, drop out, is that.
yeah. Well, and the thing is, it depends on how you guys want to play it. Like, if you want to have it that, World of Warcraft style, like if you're not there at the raid, you don't get to roll for it, then that's fine. We'll play that way. It makes it easy to assign loot at the end of each the session you recover it, or at least identify it. If you want to play it more that you figure out what person in the group gets it, then we just have to have this kind of conversation and figure out a way for you guys to assign it. So what do you want to do?
We should probably try to assign it to people who want it, even if they're not there.
Okay.
And I'm thinking it might also play another role. If Cole is going to be acting like our de facto leader going into this other side, he should look the regal part.
Except that it's also drow armor.
Well, I mean,
he should look like a leader from the Underdark. No, wait a second, this is a bad idea.
So
I forgot, it's made by by the drow?
It is.
Yeah.
I don't want that touching my...
I think it is actually medium size, so I think it would fit any
Dwarves
of the
are medium.
humans or the half elves easily.
Oh, yeah, it's not going to
I
fit.
think adapting it for
Dwarves
a
are also
dwarf
medium.
or a hobbit, halfling, would actually require more work. I think you said it would require a bit of adjustment for me or Store or one of the others, but to remake it for someone completely different size would probably be a bit more of a...
The
Dwarves
Dwarven
are
Smiths,
medium size.
if you give them a day or
they
so,
are, aren't they? Okay.
yeah, if you give them a day or so, then they can make it fit for any of the three characters. It doesn't get around the
Since
fact
he
that
doesn't want it.
it has features on it that depict defeating fungi and other things of the spore-based things of the Underdark. It's of that unusual. It's got that unusual material as well too. So it's not like typical drow stuff where it's adorned with spiders everywhere. So you'd have to be fairly in the know to know who crafted this stuff. But if you were in the know, there would be no mistaking as to who actually made this armor. So.
Okay, so I guess there is some logic to it, and if I'm leading people through a temple, and being the healer, I suppose there's logic as well in giving me the best chance of survival without having to use my own magic spells to keep myself alive, which would presumably free them up for other people.
So we're basically down to 3?
Yeah, so there's
do we roll?
There's good reasons for any 3. The one because where the one thing where Store definitely is the one who's been the frontline fighter more so than anyone else. However, Store already has a charisma of 18, and the command feature of the armor, which grants you a charisma of 18, and then grants a bonus to morale bonuses. That's really kind of lost on Store because he's already got the bonus.
Right.
So
and Tom's got a good story because he's got lower hit points, but he's also a potential frontline fighter.
Yeah.
And Cola can't use a shield, so...
in keeping with old school style then...
Be a frontline fighter.
Oh, it's only an 17. Oh, jeez. Well, you're offensive as fuck right now. Why do I keep playing up how charming you are?
I can't believe it.
So what do you guys just want to leave it to a dice roll? Just do a d6 and...
Just roll it. See what happens.
I'll step out. I was planning on stepping out anyway.
There's sound reason. You've always been the point man for it, so there's a reason why Beargore has been benefiting from that enormously in the Night Below campaign.
You can wait the roll if you want to give Thomas more chance.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to do? You tell me.
A D5 roll, 1 for Store and 2 for each of the others.
I do not care. Whatever you guys
well,
want
if
to do.
if you win, you can choose to give it to someone else.
Okay. Yeah, just roll it. Just roll it straight up.
So here, 1 and 2, it's Store. 3 and 4, it's Cola. 5 and 6, it's Tom. Go ahead and give me a D6 roll, someone. Maybe someone who's not one of those guys. Go ahead.
That's out of 3.
All right, here goes.
Best out of 3.
1. So Store got it. So Store, where do you want it to go? You want to keep it, or you want to?
I'll just wear it. I don't care. I said I would, but I'm like, no,
nice.
Well, it's still plate mail.
Jeez. All right, so then you are going to get. So you are now going to be wearing plate mail. The plate mail only weighs 2/3 of what a suit of plate mail would actually wear, or actually weigh. What are you currently wearing? Splint. Oh, right. Do you already have DR2?
Tom wearing.
Oh,
Splint's only what DR1.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
And it's DR2.
So plate, it'll be 1. Or plate mail is... Okay, so it looks like it's 1 better. So your AC will improve by 1 from it being plate, another 1 from it being a magical modifier. So your total AC will be going down by 2, which means you've got a 0 AC and a 2 when you're without your shield, and you have a DR of 2 now. And then you got that other modifier too. Hobbs, if you look in your DMG, you can see what the command armor or armor of command does. Now, what I grabbed my book for is you guys had mentioned about the priest of the temple. You remember that there were 4 different deities that were venerated in there. There was Clangadin, there was Moradin, of course, the father of the dwarves. There was the mother figure whose name I forget, but there was also Dumathoin. Dumathoin is the keeper of secrets under the mountain, the silent keeper, and the mountain shield. Now, maybe unsurprisingly, the priests of Dumathoin do keep extensive records in their chambers as to how much the... Oh, Tom, were you intending to make a save versus spell?
No, I was just checking my character sheet.
Oh, okay. Oh, your audio's way down there, Mo. Oh, can you guys hear Mo?
Not very well.
Barely.
Oop.
No, it's like a whisper.
Sorry, I turned down the microphone while I was eating.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I was just checking my character sheet. I noticed I've got a wisdom bonus against saves.
Okay.
It doesn't appear to be in there.
The character sheet's not incredibly versatile, so yeah, you'll just have to make sure you either add that in or you add that in otherwise.
Yeah.
Now, what did the Dane also offered? Hold on, we're party notes here. The Dane also offered you money as well too. Those are rumors, notable NPCs. I'm checking. Oh, this may have been Arlo's note, so you may have missed it. Did you guys see what, or do you remember what the Dane was going to pay you? He paid you half of when you guys went down, I thought.
10 million gold.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Party notes?
Yeah, I'm looking in there, but I do not see. Let's see, session front overlook. Yeah, last one was session 5 from, so that's 7 sessions ago. Is the last time the party notes were updated, and it's before you guys got to the Dwarven Valley. So, I'll have to go back to that episode and take a look and see what, unless one of you guys took notes of that, of what was offered. But you guys would get...
Check.
Sure. You guys would definitely you'll have that, plus that 135 that you guys recovered from the Cloaker's Lair. If you guys want to buy anything or upgrade anything, what you will be presented with at this dinner is going to be another set of 10 healing potions. So you will have 10 more healing potions to spread amongst yourselves.
Cool.
If
Also,
you're
it's not clear in the book. Do spears have reach in this, or is it just long spears?
just long spears.
I'm tempted whether we ought to give Paladin a long spear. So if we do the whole shield wall thing, he can fight from the second rank.
From what I can tell, there's only... Oh, Cola, you use a shield as well, right?
No.
No, yeah, that's right, you're clanging in. Yeah, shield wall will be tricky with only one person wielding a shield. Are you using a shield, Tom?
No, I'm going to buy a couple.
Okay, so yeah,
sort of like
most of your
ones.
most of your
Just have a
party is
spare on the back and
archers.
each-
Yeah, so the shield wall would be, if you mean for him to fight behind store, then
Yeah.
that's a sound strategy.
No, I meant as a second line fighter who can fight between us.
Kev, for the loot from the last session, we split it by 10, right?
Yes.
So all players, there was a note starting the session, all players got 135 gold and 135 experience. That weren't here last time?
Yep.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then what? Yeah, I don't know what the. I'll also take a look back and see. I mean, actually, hold on. If anyone in chat remembers what the amount was that the Dane offered, because there's been some people who have been catching up by binging the previous episodes. If you do remember what the Dane offered, please let us know.
Well, if we go by how much money I have, I think it would have been 100 gold pieces each because of the amount that Bruin had, where we would have been given 50 so far, and then he would have owed us 50.
Okay. So then
sounds about right. That's
yeah.
what I was looking for in the chat notes.
Sure. So
Okay,
let's go with that.
100.
Then you guys can assume you've got 185 of new loot that you can do with what you want. So you still have access to anything out of the player's handbook. You can purchase that.
Okay, getting a buckler repaired, is that half the cost of actually buying it?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm going to pick me up a spare buckler.
Okay.
Okay, so if I'll get my buckler repaired and I'll buy a spare. I mean, one GP.
Okay, sure. Just remember,
I
make sure to
get a
keep track of that in your encumbrance.
bastard sword.
You can if you want, yeah.
Because I am now skilled in all swords. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me find the price list.
You can sell any gear for 1/10 of the cost as well. So what? While you're getting the stuff planned, what I can tell you is actually I'll hold on and see what you guys want to do before I spring this on you.
So there's one healing potion each, right?
It's 10 in total, yeah. So you can choose to redistribute ones of characters that aren't showing up as often if you want, and just keep them in reserve. It's your decision.
We should keep them on the characters that are here, and then.
I took one.
Okay. And then what you could do is just maybe put 4 in party loot, and then if you need to draw on those, you can just adjust that as needed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a bad.
Yeah, the
system.
potions weigh a negligible amount, so it's not like,
Okay.
Although that would be really funny if you made potions like the size of a big gulp. So many players are laden down these giant potions that take forever to drink.
It wouldn't surprise me based on how big the spell books actually are.
Yeah, spellbooks are enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is the plan then, guys? If anything else of interest you want to have happen at the festival or the feast, we can say that happens. But if not, it'll just be a lovely, heartening celebration. The dwarves are very, very grateful to you, and they're, I think that many of the younger dwarven warriors are eager to hear about the kind of struggles or the adventures that some of you who have traveled far afield have had. Cola, do you think you're really engaging with the rest of the party all that much? Or sorry, I timed it for cookie time. I'll come back to you in a sec. Store, I think you are definitely getting asked a lot because of the, you've constantly got that grizzled veteran kind of, demeanor that you give off, or the vibe you give off.
I think I'm definitely going to try and shunt a lot of it to their own palindrome guy. That's not his name, but
Palindrome.
Yeah, and say what a good job he did and how impressive it was. He stayed alive so long on his own down there.
Sure.
And how much he helped us.
Give me a 2d10 roll, will you? I want to see how well he takes this. I could see him potentially going one way or the other way with this, because there's certainly some survivor's guilt that could be triggered here. No, so he's, you're doing a terrific job of heartening him. He's not taking this in, you're keeping his mind off of the fact that he was the only one who survived, and whatever guilt that could come from that, and whatever guilt could come from having to carve down his former allies. So he's quite happy with it.
Also, not just for him, but even people who ask questions, I talk about how much he did, right?
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Love it.
Well,
and then,
he was in the final fight and we weren't.
Right.
Did do a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
Tom's also going to see if he can find some climbing gear.
Sure.
Some pitons, because I do actually now have mountaineering, even though Golden Glory calls it climbing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get some proper climbing gear.
Yep.
With pitons and a grappling hook.
Sure. You should be able to find that in Player's Handbook.
Yeah.
As well too. So go ahead and grab that stuff. Just be mindful of how heavy rope is in the game.
Heavy.
Rope is really heavy.
Yeah, I think
it's
I've
like
got
elven rope
lightweight,
or something.
expensive
Silk rope?
stuff.
So what was
Silk
that,
rope
guys?
in the players? Silk rope in the player's handbook?
I can't
I
remember if there
believe
is
so.
or not.
Yeah, you have a.
So then, Cola, what about you? How are you engaging with these celebrations?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I think Cola will put on like a polite
There's so
facade for a while, because the Dane specifically asked him to go along with this, and I mean, he know this. These are his people. He knows the importance of this, and he himself, this is part of his culture. But he really can't help. Like his family is on his mind, and he can't get that out. So I think it's about halfway through. He might kind of go off into a corner by himself. He won't leave because he feels obliged to stay, but he's going to find a quiet spot and just kind of drink and smoke to himself.
Okay. So, and I think that because of your clan, I think there's probably not as many people who are as eager to interact with you as there is with, say, Paldronor or some of the other members. So, yeah. So then the evening passes, morning comes. You guys have had an opportunity to consider what's going on. So we're on to the 3rd of Marpanath then.
Kev, if I went to do some that's not like in the evening, but at some point in the next day, if I did go to do some shopping, if I could, like, what's the resale value on the
1/10?
1/10?
You can get 1/10 of the cost of whatever you're selling.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Most stuff's probably beat to crap.
Yeah.
yeah.
So 7.5 gold. Still need 7.5 to. Okay.
What do you need to get?
I'm considering banded mail as per Dave's suggestion, and I'm about 15 short. But if I sold this mail, then I'd be 7.5 short.
I can give you some gold.
Well, I think I owe the party some money because people chipped in for my chain shirt.
Well, I owe the party money as well because for the same reasons. So I don't want to borrow more.
Well,
Falconer is more than willing just to give you some. I have a lot, and I don't know what to spend it on.
Yeah, like Rangers, what do we got? We buy some extra arrows.
And a new bow every once in a while.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
Speaking of bows,
I'm thinking about getting a composite short bow just for those cramped, tight situations.
I'm also. Oh, sorry.
If we're going to be in the caves again, so.
if you want to buy extra potions of healing, they will cut you a deal at 100 GP as opposed to 200. I'm not sure if you want that, but that is an optional sync for some money as well.
You know what? Maybe I don't. I think maybe actually I might pass. Maybe
So-
200 gold for 1 AC.
It's not just the AC, it's
but
the
it's-
DR as
it's-
well.
and it's 5 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
5 pounds lighter and an extra point of damage soak every time you get hit. That's in
Yeah,
8
no,
hits. That's
but I'm also
in
a
8 hits.
dwarf.
That's a full healing spell.
I don't want to get rid of my gold.
Yeah,
No,
you'll be
but-
alive to collect more.
No,
You
that's
see
it.
Cola rubbing the black ice pendant around his neck.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
mine.
Why is he wearing that?
As far as Falco's concerned, when his party members do better, we all do better, so he's more than willing to help pay for it.
Okay, maybe I'll do that. I'll go and swap them out because the extra bit of weight
Okay.
might help. And then with the Silverbeard spell as well, then the AC would become a 3. So that'd be cool.
What do you
Okay.
think, Dave? Each of us give him 50 and he can get it?
Nice.
Well, I don't.
He needs 15. No.
Yeah, I need 7.5 in fact because I'll
Well-
sell the mail I had.
You still need some
Well,
spending
if I
cash.
sell the my previous armor, that will give me that. So I'll chip that in.
There we
10
go.
apiece. Is that what we're doing?
Because
No,
I've
he
got
doesn't even need
studded
that.
leather
He's-
and chain to
he's
sell.
Yeah,
Seven,
no one else
seven
has to
short.
contribute anything.
Talking of that,
Stuff.
No, you gotta have.
what does
money-
Paldronor wear?
Okay, let's.
Oh yeah, you gotta take out Paldronor.
One person at a time. What I gathered from that is that Tom is selling his armor, as is Cola, and that will give him the sufficient funds he needs to buy the banded mail.
Well, if Paldronor's not wearing something that's equivalent, we could give him the old armor and then help fork out for the
he's
new
wearing
stuff.
chain.
Yeah, give him the splint, and then I'll pay the 8 gold
Yeah.
to make up the difference.
Okay. So and Splint gives him what? Just a better AC.
It's 1 better than chain.
Okay, so he's got
Still-
4 AC, 5
still-
3 with a shield.
Still DR1
Okay,
Oh yeah,
and
the ale.
same weight.
yeah, he's gonna get a spare shield as well too. Having seen the
Okay.
value in breaking them, because I don't think he broke his shield last time.
Yeah.
But he's gonna, seeing
No, he didn't.
Stores sound tactics with that, he's gonna carry an extra shield with him.
Does anybody want a footman's flail before I sell it?
Not I.
Those bludgeoning weapons are really most effective against skeletons.
Yeah, and I picked one up and we fought zombies the whole time.
I've got a cordless after that.
There may be undead skeletons
But
as
it's-
well, so
But it's like freaking heavy, and that's the problem.
Okay,
And it's also a two-handed weapon. I thought it would be one, but
I think it's a horseman's flail. That's one-handed.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was some ale in the arrangement, Jeff. Yeah.
Yes.
four
So you have that.
casks.
Yeah. So you definitely
a
get
small
that.
donkey
Yep.
cart so we can carry the ale with us.
The 5 kegs are definitely turned over to you. Now they do have, if you guys choose to travel outside as well too. One thing that I didn't mention, but the dwarves in here, they do use mounts because they find them effective for both outside on sort of the craggy areas and also underneath. That's of course giant rams.
Oh God, it's so silly.
I love giant rams so much.
Hobbit
Dwarven mounts are hands down the fucking coolest.
Let's do it.
Oh boy. You know the irony. Kola does have riding. He does not have climbing or mountaineering or dungeoning for some reason, but he.
So
has-
that means then, what is your old ram that you used to have in the valley?
Oh Lord, no.
Billy.
Gotta name this thing.
Billy, William,
William.
Or Wilhelmina,
the greatest of all
as well.
time, or known as Billy the Goat.
Oh, I don't know.
John, that's the smile that tells me like that joke just hurt me.
Just a little.
All right, so so it does not mean that you guys are going to necessarily, you're going to get around the issue of walking off the edge. Actually, you know what, that actually might help you because they've got, keener senses than what you guys do, and a more sure footing. So that might assist you in getting around here.
I've also got a spell that might help.
Nice. Is it not fall from ledge? If so, that's a really good spell.
Actually
Yeah, I'm also going to
called-
change the rope to
It's called Easy Road.
the Sequel, the silk rope, which is like half the weight.
Okay.
Ruin's trying to collect all the ale.
Yeah.
Got
You
four
get it
ale
all.
Everybody's-
or-
Everybody's arranging to get all this armor stuff done and everything, and
Okay.
didn't seem like anyone was focused on it. So Bruin's like, "Hey, what about this ale?"
Absolutely. So you'll get that, and that's what made me think of the rams. Actually, is you'll get a pack ram. So you'll have one that will store your 5 casks on it.
Beauty.
Now
Store
what?
4 of them with Helga and just bring one with us.
Well, like one of the things with these rams is that like if you bring a horse walking on stone is a real good way to lose a horse. It can turn an ankle or something like that. Like you don't really want to. You certainly don't want to ride a horse on that. You want to be careful with leading them across it. Goats, no fucking problem. Their hooves are very different. You don't get the same speed that you get on a horse, but it's for this kind of terrain and for navigating around, say, on Kelvin's Cairn, it really can't be beat.
Is a
So-
composite longbow different in size than a longbow, or is it just
Is which, sorry?
still composite longbow? Still,
It's still same size. It's just it's got the way that it's built is with 2 different woods to give it extra pull strength.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think it actually makes much difference to the damage, though, does it?
No, it's the range, and I think that you
Yeah.
also can get it set
Speed
to your
factor is
pull
limited.
strength. Yeah, you can also get it like set to your pull strength, so you can apply your strength damage.
Yeah,
On
for the strengths that are like exceptional, they cost more, and you can get it to do. Yeah. I was
So-
looking at it a little earlier.
Okay.
I wonder if it's worth doing. So if I'm specialised in short bow, is it just short bow, or does it count or composite short bow?
Yeah, I'd count composite as well.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's worth getting one built for me then, if we can. In the
Do
time.
you have an exceptional
So
strength?
dwarves are
I'm
amazing.
18,
Yeah,
21, I think.
dwarves definitely are great craftsmen at many things. Bows,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think it's worth getting the stock one then, because I don't think it would give me much. I'd have to wait till I can find a proper boa.
Yeah.
Boa. Have it built specifically for my strength.
Okay.
Because I'm 18, 21, I think.
Okay. So
Yeah,
then,
18, 21.
guys, what are what's the plan here? John, you said that there was a spell you've got access to that might affect the
Yeah,
plan?
but it seems to be a very rare spell with those access to the traveling domain. It's called Easy Road.
Oh, and you don't have access to traveling?
I do. It's very rare, so that's why I thought I'd ask.
Okay. What's the spell? Is it out of Spell Compendium?
Yeah, the pre-spell compendium, page 233.
233. Let's take a look here.
It's like one of my few domain accesses.
Sure.
Solinar is not a major
Easy
deity.
Road. The spell ensures that the passage of the priest and his party along one path or road is quick and without mishap. The priest can enchant up to 1 mile of road or pathway per level, allowing the group's rate of movement along the road to be increased by 50% without any noticeable spell effect. So it doesn't mean you're immune to the...
Not the weather conditions, no.
Yeah, the weather, but that definitely will speed you up, though. So that's definitely something.
And I'm wondering if it would protect like hoofs turning and.
Yep, that's great. Yeah. Minor accidents like stones caught in a horse hoof or broken axle in a wagon do not occur.
Yeah. So I was wondering, it's very rare, so I don't know if I would have.
No, I totally. I love that spell.
Okay.
That's super cool.
So I prepare one of those, just because I know what the weather's like out there, and we need less mishaps as possible.
Yeah, and it means 3 hours, so that it may actually not last long enough because of the reduced rate. It may not last the. You may need to cast a second time to do the full travel if what you're planning on doing is navigating the length of the valley and then up the other side.
Okay, I'll prepare twice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's about 6 to 8 miles, I think, just looking at the scale.
Yeah, and then you figure that you're also traveling through snow-choked passes right now. You do have the benefit. I'm going to factor in that you've got the goats, assuming you're going to use the rams. You've got that to your benefit, and you've got no chance of getting lost here. So, so what do you think?
Tom thinks we ought to go under and take the shorter route.
Would it be shorter?
More chance to get
Well, we're
lost.
going horizontally about 2 miles rather than
Yeah, but
4
these
down and 4 up.
tunnels are going to wrap around, spin around, go down off, and then, yeah. There are no straight lines in tunneling.
Cola can tell you that
Well-
if you can access the Temple of Dumathoin, you will find it's very likely you'll find maps to navigate there, assuming they're not.
But that didn't
Gone.
go well the last time we went in there.
Well,
Yeah.
they're not under active control, so I was thinking maybe we could sneak in.
Valkyrie, did you forget about the wings and the growling? Because I don't know about
No.
you, but as much as I hate being underground, I would rather not have to face a potential dragon
I'm very hesitant to. I'm saying
in a blizzard.
if we're
In a
going
blizzard.
out there, I have something to help. So, just
I-
saying.
I like the idea of carefully investigating the temple because they're not active, and the other dwarves are also clearing them out. I think now. So I think if we knew the part of the temple where the library was, or the scriptorium, there must be something. We could maybe sneak in, get the maps, and then plot a course underneath. And we do have the staff, which will tell us how deep we are and the next stair or ramp upwards. So that might help us navigate.
Grim has that.
I mean,
but
we can wave it and say that Grim is with us somewhere. Use it.
maybe. don't
So
know
I
how well
vote
that
for underneath and
Okay.
investigate maps to the temple.
So we got one
that's
vote for
one
traveling for securing maps and traveling under.
I vote for that as well.
Okay, 2 votes for that.
I'm ambivalent.
Okay.
Okay, that's abstain.
What about Brune, Cola, and Stork? Brune, what are you thinking? You got your beer now.
Brune, yeah, Brune says Cola is the one who this is the most important to. I cast my vote with whatever Cola wants to do.
Oh,
Yeah, interesting. Store, do you have anything to say before Cola makes his decision?
Under is fine with me. I don't care either way.
Okay, Cola, what are you thinking? Ooh, it all comes down to Cola.
Great. So to be clear, this is to go back to the valley like opening area to try to clear that out.
I think that the options is the votes so far have been to try and find the way under. The other options are to travel the length of the valley immediately in the weather that you've got to get there as soon as possible, or the other option is to wait until the weather turns. It sounds like no one is in favor of that. So it's braving the weather using Falcarel's magic to help navigate this and travel outside or going underneath.
Okay. I thought the party had wanted to go back down to the original gatehouse to like secure that. I thought that's what the direction was. I assumed the Hammerstone thing was next, and Cola was actually going to plan on going like, well, no, I don't expect any of you to danger yourselves to try to fix my family's shame. This is something I need to do.
No, we're going to help you with that. You just need to decide whether you want to go underground or outside.
We does have a.
I don't think it's a good idea for you guys to come with me to the Hammerstone. They are not going to let any of you people in. Like,
Well, could not
What
we say
if we're your men? We're your entourage.
Yeah.
emphasis on men, though. You're humans.
Yeah, we work for you.
Elves. Yeah.
Now's the time I tell you. My uncle's one of those. He's one of your like classic. Your crazy uncle that you put up with at Christmas.
Crazy racist uncle.
Crazy racist
Humans are to blame for everything.
Well,
But
he
whether
was humbled and taken by this. He did not expect the party to actually, endanger themselves like this. But he does warn you that this may not work.
It's not just for your family, though. You have to understand that.
Well,
We're
if
trying to unite the dwarves because we need the dwarves as allies against the Winter Witch.
Yeah, and we also thought the gate might have a very strong garrison. And the
reinforced
reaction
it.
they had last time, we might have to have a massive fight to try and take it.
Yeah.
But I think we will go directly to the Hammerstone side to try and work out what's going on.
I also wonder, not only would they not let you in, the entire premise of the trek to the Hammerstone Hold the only reason that Cola could get in is because he's family, and presumably he's going to try to play up that he's on their side. I worry that bringing outsiders into the mix, they may not let Cola in, or they might capture him and take him immediately. Like, this facade needs to be carefully done. As much as,
wars.
don't get me wrong, in a old brutal system like AD&D with Kevin at the helm, I'm not necessarily eager to go off on my own and pull a oh my god, an Ehrlich.
You have to also understand that there's a very good chance that even with you being a Hammerstone, and even if they tried to believe us, there's magic preventing that from happening, and there's still going to be a conflict.
Yeah.
You need to prepare yourself for that now, because it might not turn out all pretty when we get there, regardless of which route we go.
Yeah, the other advantage of going underneath,
it's easier.
Tom says, is we could maybe sneak in through the back door and maybe try and find where your mother is, see whether she's being held under duress, and maybe make a few discreet inquiries rather than walking up to the front door, knocking and say hello.
Yeah, if it wasn't, I'm not sure if I said one way or the other, but the way underground, that would be like catching them unawares. It was not somewhere that they would expect you to come from, so it's likely going to get you in, not necessarily into wherever Barrack Hammerstone is sort of holed up with his people, but it'll get you into the eastern side of the valley, the community that built up in there, the underground community, without them being aware. You should be able to get past any sentry.
And then
if we can solve the crystal thing, then maybe your family and that side will, listen to reason.
Fair. I would still, if we did that the sneaky way, then I would need to come up with a damn good reason why I suddenly appear among my people.
Your mother sent you a letter.
Yeah,
What's wrong with the truth?
Yeah, you just appear and say, "It is I, Cola, come to save you from the evil." of my uncle.
I mean,
Cola.
more like there was no official way to like enter. I might be overthinking this. This is Andrew.
You
Totally.
worry too much.
Yeah, you're way overthinking this. Pick a
right.
direction.
Store
Yeah.
tapped the side of his blade. We have our answers right here if we need them.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord, this is gonna
So
go well.
guys, I
I
think
go
it's,
under. I'm a dwarf, and I'm more comfortable underground.
All right,
Okay.
so we're
Underground.
temple and tunnels it is.
Okay.
Yeah, did you guys see when we talked about why we weren't going to the gatehouse? It's basically the Dane said that it's unlikely the Rhaegar could, but now Kevin wanted to add some more murkiness and say, oh, maybe he doesn't know shit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll be clear. Like there's like in you guys, I think all know this from playing with you before too. But there are unreliable narrators. NPCs are not necessarily omniscient, so they are giving their opinions on what they think they know, but that may not necessarily be the case. This is not the kind of like block text in a pre-made adventure that's necessarily saying this is the right way or the wrong way to do this. So,
All right, Dostoevsky, let's go.
okay. So what are you thinking, guys?
I think temple maps under.
Excellent. So,
Temple and
Yeah.
tunnels.
Yeah, if we're not going to go outside, I'll prepare different spells for the day then.
okay. You also
Well, I think also we're going to have to take a day or so to buy stuff, have
Mm-hmm.
armor fixed.
Yep.
So
And it's
really,
likely
we're talking about 48 hours later, really. So
it likely will take you about an hour. Well, you've got this full day right now. You had the party on the 2nd. We're on the 3rd right now. You're preparing to leave all day today, and then is the plan to head out into the head out to the temple and then go from there to the wherever this entrance is?
Yes.
I think so, unless we get really beaten up. But hopefully,
Yeah.
the undead are just shambling. So if we're very careful and we don't necessarily pick a fight, we should be able to avoid having a mass brawl.
Yeah. Okay. So then I guess the other thing, knowing how long it takes, it's probably going to be a day's journey through the depths to get to the other side too. So you may want to provision accordingly because it'll be difficult to try and get food. The upper levels of the kind of under earth or the underdark, they're or at least the subterranean areas, they're not really rife with a lot of lichen and stuff like that. It's once you get down to the more dangerous areas that you're able to sort of actually forage for food, as it were.
Looking up
Yeah,
a
I
good
mean-
berry spell.
Yeah, well, I've got some rations. I assume we can pack, trail rations.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we're only going to be down there for a day or so. We can probably just take some food, and Paldranor can he's got his little cooking stove, so he's NPC stroke cook.
Okay. You will need to carry your own. The reason I mention it is because for encumbrance purposes. Just remember what you're carrying.
Yeah, I've got encumbrance to burn. But
assume that the trail rations or the iron rations that you want to take, they're not going to cost you anything. Those will be provided for free. It's just a question of how much weight you have to carry. And iron rations, I don't think last beyond a month. Regular rations spoil after a week. I think iron rations spoil after a month.
Yeah.
So
Is this a month journey?
No. But just as an FYI.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's like 2 miles. I don't know.
How many?
It's my artificial way of inflating the time. Like, well, you've all kind of gone up like 3 levels over the long weekend, so let's advance the time forward a little bit. The bullshit long journey.
We've all got the mining helmets or the things.
Yep.
I think I took 5 spares from the miners' cache we went through.
Yep.
Yeah,
Do you remember? I
they
think
were
maybe
8,
if we all have some of those spare alchemical light things with us.
Yep.
there were 8 in total, so 8 refills.
They can provide you more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get some of those.
Yeah.
How much are they?
Oh, it doesn't cost you anything. They'll supply them for you. Just the weight is what you need to concern yourself with.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think me and Storr can carry quite a bit as we're both pretty strong. So,
And as
even
we've learned
if we
in
carry
last
some of the
session,
heavier stuff.
what's wrong with carrying a bunch of flammable stuff?
Well,
Not
do we
a whole
want?
lot.
Do we want any more Molotov cocktails?
Grim
Grim
had one.
probably will.
For
Yeah,
Grim,
you know,
when he
Brandon,
comes
I don't-
back.
Brandon was busy today, but we'll assume that Brandon and anyone else who's playing in the game too, they can go through and buy whatever they want in this period as well too. We'll let them retroactively restock. If you guys want to pick up any Molotov cocktails, you can likewise secure those.
Negative.
Yeah.
I'm just adding arrows. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I'll get some more arrows as well.
3 silvers for 6
Okay.
for sheaf.
I have no more money, but I will suggest to the party maybe we pick up some actual like holy oil that we could use to. Oh wait, I'm a priest. I could make some, couldn't I?
The making holy water.
Oil specifically to use.
On weapons.
We have a lot of undead.
Oh,
between us and these
oil
maps.
is so. Things like magic oil, magic potions, and things like that. It will take you a while before you're able to do. Yeah, you have to be a little higher level, and it takes quite a while. You could probably purchase something like that, but it will take you a while to actually, to make it yourself.
So the holy oil we can smear on weapons. Is that the sort of thing?
I think that's what he was thinking. Is that right, Cola?
It was a thought. It might help.
What they'll do is they will donate another, let's say, 4 vials of holy water, if you want to make use of that as well too. So you can decide who's going to get that.
I'll take one. I'll just use it on my axe.
Okay. Well, you can't. Holy water is really more.
Oh no, not the water. You said water, not oil. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are you guys thinking here?
I'll put the holy water in the party loot. Take it out as needed.
Do we have everyone's gear and whatnot uploaded?
I was just wondering, where does it say how many arrows fit in a quiver?
In the description of the quiver, maybe. Hold on.
See
tactics.
For quivers. I didn't see a description.
I think it's 20. It's either 10 or 20, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I was
crossbows
wondering.
are 10 and 20 for quivers. So I'm surprised they don't have the on bow storage. Though that might be a bit modern.
Yeah, I think that's a more modern thing.
One between your teeth is probably acceptable.
Why isn't there a laser sight on this thing?
And some compound pulleys.
Yeah, those things are brutal. I remember I've done a bit of field shooting and standing off the target when 120-pound recurve hits is, it's not surprised that bows tend to kill by hydrostatic shock.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it really, you're standing off, 10 yards to the side and you can really feel it hit.
Wow. Okay, hold on here.
And then again, my Inquisitor in Pathfinder did have a repeating crossbow.
Oh, jeez.
The GM sort of started cheating me because I wanted a magazine one because I could do the cocking sound and I jumped on the table to.
Like a chokunu?
Lucky punk.
Yeah.
Like the Chinese chokunu. That's awesome.
Yeah, the crank-operated crossbow, right?
They're not very accurate, but with high medieval, you could imagine a crossbow that when you pulled it back, it pushed
when
the
you're
bolt.
firing into ranks of file, and you just got to hit something. It doesn't really matter. It's how many you can hit.
Yeah, well, it was very much based on Supernatural, that guy.
Nice.
Well, he hunted monsters. And that was his thing as an Inquisitor.
I have a chokunu I got in Beijing.
Ooh, cool.
It's like a little replica thing, but kind of fun.
I'll bet. Yeah.
It only shoots about 3 feet, though.
All right, I'm not finding it here.
I'll look online and see if I can find something.
I've got the arms and equipment guide here, and I bet you it's in here somewhere. I'm not seeing it.
My 30-year-old memory says it was 20 for arrows and 10 for.
That's what I thought it was too.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So let's.
This may be first edition, or God knows.
Well, I do know in Pathfinder it's about 20 as well.
Yeah, I think that's. Let's just go with that.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
I'm filling up to 40.
You had 2 quivers?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so
18,
then if everyone has what they need, then no one's spending any extra money on what do you call it? On extra potions.
Question: If I got a short bow, would that help with the cramped conditions of firing? If we get into tight spaces again?
Yeah, I'll say it's a -1 as opposed to the -2.
Okay.
Crossbows, I think, would be not penalized at all. And remember that we're using the damage for crossbows out of the Combat and Tactics book, so they don't do the shit like 1d4 that they do in the Player's Handbook.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see here. Stor's there, Falcarol's there, Bruin's there, Cola's there, Lex there, Tom's there. So it's gonna
Nicola, did you need any ideas for other stuff to buy? I've got gold, lots of gold.
I'm so rich. Guys.
I think I'm all right. I've got some basic kit and rations. I took one of the potions. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I took the healing proficiency for this level. Is there any kind of like tools that would help me do better at it, or is just?
I think you just need a healing kit, which maybe I may be thinking modern editions, but you'll need like bandages and stuff like that. Just assume that you need to pick up some of that stuff in order to work your craft.
Yeah, should we get Paldronor a missile weapon?
Get him a couple throwing hand axes. They don't have a great range.
Well,
Crossbow.
You give me a crossbow.
Good for him. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We'll between the party we'll buy Paldronor a crossbow and some other stuff.
Okay.
I'll check on how much that is.
Someone give me a D10 roll, by the way.
A light crossbow is 35
How much is a heavy?
gold. Heavy is
10.
50.
Fuck, nice one. So, yeah, Paldronor just gained 10 more hit points, and I'm assuming you got +1 to his hit points, so plus 11 hit points. Pretty good, guys. Paldronor now has 21 hit points.
Wow.
That's as much as me.
The NPC has as much as.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Grim.
All right, so guys.
Oh, Grim.
Then, with all your stuff, you guys set out for the temple. Now, what you know is that the temple 2, or the sort of, chambers or whatever else, or the vault of Dumathoin is beneath the, unsurprisingly, is beneath the temple complex. So you're going to want to go in on the right-hand side and then head down once you get into one of the chambers. And that's where you should be able to access the those records. Let me bring you guys over. Boom. There we go, guys. And you are all up here. So, you've had time to talk about how you're going to go about getting into the temple complex. You're aware of what was there before. What are you guys going to do? How do you think you're going to approach this?
Could we get one of the rangers or the rangers to scout ahead to see if there's any clusters of undead? And maybe find a route round any clumps?
Okay.
Sure.
So, what is... I have your... Oh, I don't have your... what do you call it? Your hide and shadows. You guys are wearing leather armor, I take it, right?
Yeah. My
Okay.
move silently is 37 divided by 2.
37, okay, so that's...
Brune's
18?
the ranger, right?
14.
Yeah.
18, I think.
I've made a solemn vow that I'm
yeah.
not leaving Store's side very often. So.
Okay. All right, Lex, so go ahead and move yourself forward. You do have that keen elven vision, and let me just click on your token here. Oh, come on, where are you? There we go. Let's follow you along
Bruins
here.
vowed not to leave the side of the ram who's carrying the ale.
Well, that's one way of solving the encumbrance problem. Presumably rams are okay. We could have a pack
Oh, yeah.
ram.
Yep, you could definitely make use of the pack ram. Okay, so what do you see, Lex?
Oh, there's a few zombies wandering around. Quite a few.
And they do
Couple
not
of them are
seem...
wounded.
They do not seem to be paying attention to anything. They're sort of...
Okay, I'll go back to the group and let them know.
Okay.
I mean, weren't we expecting that?
Yeah, there's some
where-
aimless zombies walking around.
Yeah,
Where
they
are
should
the
have been
stairs?
basically be where we left them.
Pretty
Where
much.
are the stairs down?
So this is like when you go in the Borg cube and you're just walking past all the drones.
into the complex to the far end and then the right-hand side.
Oh, to the far
And then
end.
downstairs, yeah.
So all the way south, and then
There's 4 chambers that lead to the different, like the specific priests who serve each of the specific gods. One for Dumathoin, one for Clangadin, one for Moradin, and one for Baronar Truesilver, the revered mother. So, what's the plan here, guys?
Do you want to just go around the
Well,
outside?
We're trying to. No, we got to be along this northern edge here. So we got to stay along here and then take a right. He said.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, there is a second way to get in as well too. If you go down, you can.
That's what I said.
Yeah, enter in.
Yeah.
We go really far south that way,
Is there any
Although that-
reason to do that?
just avoiding all the zombies. They're still helping an attack.
We're
That
still going to
room-
have to
the
go
way
up
in
there.
there. Yeah, that room opened up into the center of the actual main temple area, so presumably we'd be actually in the middle of all the zombies if we went in that way. Whereas this way we're on the top side of the room, the north side of the room, and it would presumably
Sure.
take at least the ones from the bottom a bit of time to get to us, right?
Okay, well, I'm not going to bother with a bow and wasting arrows on zombies. I'm going to.
Easy, Tom and Paldrinor.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay, maybe up.
guys, before you throw yourself in there too, is there any other strategy you could use?
We could go to the south and distract them. A couple
Well,
of
that's what I was
rangers,
thinking.
clatter
could
a
we
bunch,
create-
make a bunch of noise, and get them to move to the south.
Just like we did last time to get out of here, but do the opposite.
Yeah, could
Yeah.
we send someone down the far way, make a big racket, draw them that way, and then have them run back up, and then we sneak across the top, as it were?
Yeah,
Somebody
I'm
fast.
I'll do it.
When Cola
Brune,
was,
you want to come with?
You'll likely need Cola at a minimum to be able to find these things. Who reads Dwarven?
I speak
I
Dwarven.
don't.
I don't read it.
No, you're in the process of speaking Dwarven.
Oh, I thought you said I had enough time to learn it now.
No, not yet.
Okay.
And even
Brune, do you wanna
at
come with?
best to be speaking, not necessarily reading.
I
Definitely.
could, yeah.
Do we all have to go down? Is that the question? Could we just send some
No,
dude?
you
with-
guys just sit here and be quiet, and we'll.
Oh.
Brune and I will go down. We're good.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
obviously, the
Well,
faster moving. So if I stay here with Paldrinor and Cola, and maybe one or two of
Or-
you make the noise, and then we sneak across, and then
Maybe
you
we don't have to make a
effectively-
noise at all. Maybe we could just send some quick guys over there to look at it.
Paldrinor could read it as well too. I think you guys may have said that already, but yeah, both Cola and Paldrinor, either of those could find the thing you're looking for.
Let's just do that. I like that idea better. Lex and Bruin go down, shoot arrows up there, get them fired up, and the rest of us will try and.
Oh, we won't even shoot any arrows. We'll just have a sword fight, a little mock sword fight. Clang our swords a bunch of times, and make a lot of noise.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll shoot arrows like Hobbs. Hobbs says we'll shoot arrows. We're shooting arrows. We're on the Gamerhood today.
So go ahead and position yourselves where you want to go, guys. These things do not seem to be aware of your presence, even moving up as close as you were.
Okay, Tom's going to. Well,
I'll wait for Brune to catch up before I.
I love it.
Over here.
Right.
Tom and Paldrinor testing their aggro range. It's fantastic.
no, Tom's going to sneak up and sort of peer around the corner.
Yep.
And I would suggest Cola, the people that aren't going to go down south, sort of stack up around that corner, and then we try and
There's
sneak
another one down
across.
here.
Isn't it just the same thing?
Or is
So
this-
do we know which of these rooms we're going in? Yeah, the
Where
first,
is it?
second, or the third.
all the way to the end of the hall.
Yes.
Cola.
I
I think that's going to
Here?
come down to
Sure.
a luck.
We could just
Question.
fire at them. I guess that's a waste of an arrow.
If not, Kevin, then it's just a
So,
wild.
yeah, we could.
No, I love that idea. You know what? Give me a D6 roll. That's a great.
We could clang swords in here, and then we'll just move up and go through this other room. And
Awesome. No, actually, that's good. So, guys, once you're down here, Cola suddenly has this sort of like a sense memory. Like, when you go to a place you grew up around, and you're suddenly like, oh my god, you're right back in that scene. What Cola didn't mention before, didn't think of before, probably because his mind's focused on his mother. It turns out he was a little bit of a troublemaker when he was in seminary, or dwarven seminary. And you guys are all aware, those of you who play dwarves at least, of how they have a keen eye for secret doors. Well, it may not surprise you to learn that Dumathoin has a secret way in.
The Keeper of Secrets has a secret way in?
Not surprisingly.
And he knows where it is?
Do you remember this way back over here? Way back up? The way that seemed to lead nowhere?
Yeah.
Cola's actually aware of a little secret passage in there.
Oh, Jesus. Now you tell us, Cola.
Yeah.
I forgot. It was my years of misspent youth as a Weasley. I mean, as a...
Yeah, and so what I don't know why you didn't think of this before, but I guess probably because you weren't trying to access Dumathoin's chamber before.
No, we were just coming here to...
Yeah. You can get through to, I think, into Dumathoin's, like, part of the temple just by going down that passage. Normally what you would do is sneak in there, and then you try to sneak back into Clangeddon's, area. Unsurprisingly, the priests of Dumathoin are probably were keen to you doing that in retrospect or in reflection, because they're the keepers of secrets, so they may have been aware that you were sneaking in and out and just letting you do it. But
all this time, I've actually been worshiping two gods.
Yeah.
Clangeddon.
So really, it's just a question of whether you, whether you draw their attention while you're in the temple or not. I can tell you that the chance of them hearing you is higher if you've got metal armor on. So let's decide who's going to go down into the Temple of Dumathoin and what you will be wearing.
So did he tell us this before we started to run the interference?
I think it's just as you guys are getting ready to leave, Cole's like, wait.
Okay.
You know what? Let me just...
So then we can discuss if we still want to do that or not.
Yeah. So what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, send the sneaky elves down. Or the sneaky rangers down, I guess.
Yeah, but we can't read the stuff is the problem.
Yeah.
We need dwarves to read
Why don't you just bring it out and we'll look at it outside?
It's
library full of books?
It's a whole complex full of stuff in there.
It'll take us...
Is this it? No.
The
Is this it?
And what if the maps are carved on the wall or something?
Yeah, I have a feeling that Cola, although he's not the most stealthy person in the group, given that he's got metal armor on, I might have to go regardless.
How about we do both? Why don't we go make a racket, try and drag some of those guys, and then try and sneak by?
Yeah. And
Look, we are way faster than these things. We can run around in this main floor, kiting these things all day.
They only move 2 squares.
And just on a mechanics reminder as well, too. This is old school. Just because you're wearing metal armor does not mean you're automatically going to be hurt. I'm just increasing the chances that they're going to see you by about 15%.
All right.
Yeah.
So who's going down?
Stragglers.
Store will go down. He wants to protect Cola.
Okay, so Store and Cola are going to go down into the passageway. Cola, Store, you're getting flashbacks of that mine that you went down before.
Okay, so it's going to be Tom Palgador and I watching down here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. If we
Okay.
I'll blow 3 tweets on my signal whistle if we need a distraction.
Okay. So I've moved you two guys over into the Temple of Dumathoin coming out.
Oh.
No, you're not.
I didn't mean to do that. I was moving us to take position. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Indiana Cola and the Temple of Dumathoin.
Well played. All right, let's see if thing here. Now, is the plan to wait and see what happens, or sorry, I think you answered this already. Store, you're going to blow your whistle if they seem to be coming in?
Yeah, if we need a distraction, we're going to blow the whistle.
Okay. So you guys step out of this chamber. And actually, you know what, guys? Just give me 2 seconds here. I need to go to the washroom, and then I'll be right back, and then we'll do this thing. Let's take a quick bio break.
Gotcha.
So you don't want us to just start kiting them around the thing?
Nope.
Seems like our skills are being wasted, Bruin. Do it anyway.
We might do it just for fun.
I know. Just like drag some zombies around the bottom of the map, have them running around.
Yeah,
Run circles around a couple of them, smack one with an arrow.
exactly. Get them all into one nice big group.
Yeah. Then the wizard can cast Fireball and kill them all.
I was gonna say, we probably could clear these things out with a strategy like that. Like, cover the floor in oil in a section completely, and then kite them all into that area, and then light the oil on fire and just incinerate them all in a big clump.
Do I get to go like shirtless, like Jason Statham, and then put on some bicycle clips on my feet and do like a transporter fight in the middle of the oil?
Sure. Whatever.
I just watched that the other day. It was pretty fun. The acting.
Oh, I think we're
spots are
going to
great.
step.
Hmm.
Well, I suppose the other way would be for us to escort a higher level priest from the main dwarven community and just have him stand in the center of us. We're all around him, and he just
Right,
goes in
guys.
and casts a spell.
Yeah, that's not as much fun if you're a ranger.
Awesome. Okay. Let's see.
Bruin and Lex are kind of bored waiting. We want to do some like kiting and distracting on our own, just cause.
Okay. So, are you waiting to hear anything from Store, or are you guys jumping in right away?
What do you want to do, Bruin?
It'll be a pass. It would probably be about maybe 5 to 10 minutes of them. 5 minutes of them navigating the chamber or the passageway to get to the Temple of Doomthoin.
I think
Okay.
we don't even need to wait for the whistle. I think if we see any action by the zombies, then we'll go.
Mm.
Like, because we'll maybe know even before they do that they've heard them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what you find, guys, is Kola and Store, again, like you walk through this passageway, and it is low and cramped, and it's only probably about maybe 2 feet wide, but it leads directly. So your Store, this is a heck of a cramped walk for you. But you get to the end, you hit the door open, and it slides to the side, and you guys are able to step out into the open area in the Temple of Doomthoin. You can it's not on the map here, but you can picture that there's a passageway leading down right around here. But as you stagger out, unfortunately, Store, you sort of rattle a little bit too loudly. And let's see here. Does anyone have... What's your advantage here, guys? Yes, you can see it. So from where Lex and Lex and Bruin are standing, this one right here kind of... and these are all dwarves, again, too. These are dwarves that are staggering around, some wearing like mining outfits, some wearing priest's robes. It turns and begins moving over, and then, let's see, some others begin moving over in that direction as well, too.
If we
Very
quickly
careful.
go down the stairs,
Oh,
they
those
won't
ones.
know anyway, right, Andrew? They won't see us, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
So,
Okay, so you guys are going to hustle down the stairs?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, we should fire some arrows at them.
Okay. What do you guys... Yeah, anyone else? You guys can feel free to just... we'll go sort of... Until I roll initiative, we'll just let you guys just take actions. So...
Yeah, we're firing arrows at that group.
I'm clanging my swords over here.
Okay.
And I'll fire some arrows.
So more of the ones over here, again, getting your attention. Bruin, give us 2 arrow attacks, or 2 shots on them.
There it is.
Okay, yep, definitely hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Where are my D8s? There's one, and there's another.
And
Okay.
then another one.
Yeah, definitely 2 hits. Yeah, the AC on these things is not great. All right, so it's sinks into this thing. Both of those shots hit these things, but do not drop them. But kind of they turn.
I'm just trying to get their attention more than
Yep, and you definitely have them. So they start moving. Instead of moving in your direction, they're moving over towards you. However, it doesn't seem to draw as they move. Giant familiar. It doesn't seem to, apart from the ones that are right near you, and the ones up here. You're not getting the whole. Actually, you probably are getting the whole. You're making enough, Lex. You're making enough racket to like call everything, right?
Yeah, I'm like yelling and clanging my sword as well.
Okay.
Just because I wasn't sure what was going to work.
Sure. Let's do this thing, guys. Let's drop into initiative and to see how this goes. I think we're gonna.
Well, Brune and I can move 4 times faster than them.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but I mean, as we've seen, like their sheer numbers can add up, though. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna assume that you guys are gonna win initiative each round, because it's just I get a +10 to my initiative roll. So let's just we'll set initiative once here, and then we will just go along with that until circumstance. If one of you guys jumps into melee with it or something like that, we'll worry about that. And let's say Cola, give me a roll of 2d6. Actually, let's say 2d8.
2d8.
Oh, not 2d8. I'm sorry, 2d4. I'm thinking of 1 to 8. Or 2 to 8.
2d4.
2d4, please. Yeah, final answer.
Final answer.
6. It will take you 6 rounds to find this thing and then to just grab it. So it'll be 6 rounds that we need to go through for this. So, round 1. Go ahead and assume that you rolled a 5, and then just add your whatever the speed of your action is to that. I think
put it in.
I think it's really only, like Cola and Store don't bother with it because you guys are trying to find stuff down below. Until you guys actually are taking actions, don't worry about putting your actions in. It's really just Lex and Brune right now that are taking actions. All right, so Lex, what are you doing with your round? First round.
Lex is actually going to kite a little bit, so he'll just move out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's too far. Maybe right there.
Okay. All right.
And he's banging his swords.
Okay. So we got 1, 2. Brune, you get your action.
Oh yeah, he's just got his short sword out just in case one of them gets close.
Got it. Okay.
Gotta machete somebody.
Let me just get these things.
And he'll just move with Lex.
Okay.
Okay, next round we're gonna move back.
Well, are we gonna? You don't
Gonna
want
go
to
up?
like move this way and like exit out here?
Let's
To,
go out the middle
draw
one.
their attention? Yeah.
Okay. So moving all of our zombies here. Boy, that's a lot up here.
Now, Kev, did you say that they can climb this wall?
They can, yes. Wait, sorry, which wall?
Like this one right beside us. Like where there's the stairs down.
No, yes, they can get up there. It's only about like 4 or 5 feet up. So, all right. So they are all staggering before you. That was round 1, guys. Round 2. What are you doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me when you finish moving, and go ahead and roll any attacks you might be making.
No attacks. Just moving to here.
Okay, you guys done?
Yeah.
Okay. Two. Let's move all of these guys at once. Boom. Oh, fuck. Fuckity fuck.
Do we want to head back towards the door?
Yeah, I guess so. Sure.
Okay. And guys, go ahead and make your next move. It's on round 3.
8. Still only 1 move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. Boom. 1, 2. Let's see here. 1, 2. And then closer in. All right, so we're on to round 4.
Bangity bangity bang.
Bangity bang. Okay.
You moving, Brood?
Yeah. Just
So if you guys move back, what we can actually, I think you guys are going to be able to. Yeah, there's no way these things can catch you or box you in now. So,
Yeah.
Kola, why don't you tell us what happens as you go down below?
Well, so the room the store and I are in is the down below.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll start us off by going here.
Oop. I think it's on your mic, Dave.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I was just made like a chainmail scarf almost, so I'm like, I'll throw it
Nice.
on my neck.
Keep you very warm.
Yeah. So, Kola, what are you thinking? What do we see as you get down there?
I'm imagining a ton of old books that are super dusty.
Yep.
I'm trying to, like, Cola's just trying to remember how well he remembers this route. It's been a few years after all.
Yeah. Do you think
but
you were ever down here too?
Well, I thought, yeah. When I was asking, like, does he know of secret ways in? Like,
Well, secret ways into here, but in the secret, like, in the sort of the actual chamber of Doomathoin, though. This you would have.
Oh, did he actually, like?
Yeah,
go
I'm
do
wondering-
anything with this. I mean, there's hardly a point to sneaking around as a student if you're not gonna go. I imagine. You know what? I'm thinking of it more like there would have been like some initiation, like dare, where it's like you have to go get a copy of this from the library and bring it back to prove that you were there, kind of thing. That sounds fun.
Sure.
So yeah, I guess he probably would have ventured out here before.
Okay. So you make your way down into here, and you are looking around, and like, God, like, how does it look both familiar and also so different from when you were last down here? It's almost as if the Keeper of Secrets wants to keep his secrets. So you're looking around trying to find this thing. A very, very tense minute goes by of you racing around. Store, what's going through your mind? It's all dark down here. The first level is lit, but down here there would be no light. So I'm assuming that
I would probably light a light.
Okay.
Well, I'd light my lamp, my phosphorescent headlamp.
Okay, so you got it lit, and it's casting these weird. Imagine, like a combination of a crypt and a like library stacks. That's sort of where you find yourself right now, and it's casting these strange shadows as the light kind of passes through the different the gaps between the different bookshelves. You finally locate the place that you're looking for, and you're familiar from the last time you were in here that it has a full layout of all of the areas, all of the passages and old passages. Your fingers kind of flick up and down the spines of these books until you finally find the one you're looking for, and like, yes, this is it. You grab this thing off on the shelf, stuff it into your bag, and you are ready to go. When you guys get up to the main level again, too, to go back into that secret passage, you can hear the sound of. You can picture that massive chamber that operates as the central kind of gathering place or a place of worship is just full. It's a cacophony of zombie or Walking Dead groans and the sound of clattering and shouting from Lex. Assuming you don't want to spare a look out there, you guys make your way into the passageway and you successfully navigate back out to the far side. So, what was going to happen when you guys rejoin with Tom and Falcarel and Paldrinor? Let me move you guys over there. Oh.
Move out of this area.
We're waiting for them to come out. Oh, so where are we going now? Or are we going to like retreat back, look at the maps, and decide where we're going next?
I would think so.
Okay. So, Lex and Brune, you hear is it Store's whistle's going to blow a second time to call everyone back?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay. So you do that, and you guys, Brune and Lex, you hear the sound of Storr's whistle a second time.
Okay, well, we head back through the crumbling or the entranceway or the pathway along the far right.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
So you guys, I can move you guys up there if you like. Whoop. Whoop. Lex is moving too quick. So is Brune. All right, so you guys make your way, you join up with your allies, you can hear the sound of the shambling horde coming towards you. But knowing that you have what you need, you can turn, nod to each other, and then head back to get a moment to look. Now, what you see is after about maybe 20 minutes to a half hour of study, I'm picturing you pull back to one of the abandoned settlement areas because for one, it'll be the big open kind of walkways make it easy to spot any of the Walking Dead. And also there's tables and whatnot that you can set things out on. You're taking a moment to catch your breath, have a drink, grab a snack if necessary. And Cola, you're studying these symbols or studying the book alongside Paldronor. And what you're able to identify is there is definitely a way to get through. The thing is, it looks like some of those mines may have been flooded. Or at least partially. So it's going to be a bit of a tricky way of navigating. It looks like there's a way that you can get through, but this may require a little bit of actual caving in order to make your way through there. The mines that go underneath the valley are more properly passages that travel beneath. It seems as if there is very little of value to be found underneath there, but there are ways. There is a way that is clear to get through. But it's natural caverns. It isn't mines. It will meet up with mines on the far side. But that is where you guys will be heading. So, any last words before our heroes pack up and start making their way down into the deepest parts of the mines?
Not ominous at all.
No.
No.
The music cues have been on point with the fucking ominous womp womp today. All right. So then, guys, we will leave it at that. Our heroes are making their way down to the western side of this, and next session on next Sunday, we will pick up with you guys making your way into those chambers. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us. I apologize for not checking in with chat earlier on today, but let's see, we got a lot of usual suspects. Let's see here. Jason, Ice King, Wicked Studios, Cameron, William. Good morning, all. Hope you have enjoyed our foray into the Dwarven Valley. Let's see, Dane offered a chicken also, but don't listen to me. Cam, we'll take your reminder with a grain of salt. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the game or the campaign, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. I did get caught up last night in all my comments, so I am ready to respond to any more recent comments. In addition, you can find me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, and you can find me by email. My email is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. You can also find a link in the description of this video to the... someone's typing very loud. You can find a link to the Dungeon Musings Discord server as well. You can find channels on there dedicated to this campaign as well as every other campaign we run. There's an AD&D specifically dedicated channel on that, as well as a bunch of other neat stuff like finding a group or doing setup for online play. In addition, there is a link in the description of the video to something called Heroes Save Villages, which is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, which is a terrific organization active in over 130 countries that 130 countries that benefits over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. Let's see here. The benefits that are available. Sorry, something popped up. A reminder popped up as I was going through my outro spiel, so that's why I'm fumbling with it again. In 2 weeks' time, or a little less than that, we are having our annual charity raffle as well, too. The grand prize from that is going to be a copy of the Beetle and Grimm's, right there, Beetle and Grimm's Gold Edition Eberron Rising from the Last War box set, which was very generously donated by Beetle and Grimm. That's my copy up there, but we've got a brand new copy still in the box that it was sent to us in, still lovingly packaged by the good folks at Beetle and Grimm. That will be our grand prize as well. I've also purchased a couple other things to add to it. We've got 2 copies of Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, which is a really awesome campaign, a really awesome game, old school game, and it's currently out of print as well too. Jeff Tillanian, the author of that, has said that they've run out of their current print run, so these will be 2 copies you can still get, and there's those prizes and more for this, and all donations go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel, none of it goes to any other middleman. It all goes to help the kids who benefit from their services. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. June 1st, we'll be going live with that raffle. Also, if you enjoyed the session, please be sure to click on subscribe and the bell icon so you know when we are going to be going live again. I'll also be posting the schedule for this week on the community tab of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel, which is what I do every week. You can also, if you enjoyed the session, be sure to click a like, and that helps us with the algorithm, whatever stuff. And I've mentioned this before too, but thanks to the generous donors on our Patreon, as well as the you putting up with the ads that pop up in the course of this game, we have enough money right now to get 3 players handbooks for our players. So we're in the process of sourcing the players handbooks for AD&D for our players. So we thank you very, very much for the patrons who have very generously donated, for the John for the purchasing of stuff from our Redbubble store, and also the putting up with the ad content. So we appreciate your help in getting these in the hands of our players. Once that's done, we'll have to figure out what our next goal will be. But yeah, speaking of our players, last but not least, guys, thank you so much for joining me today for yet another session of this. You guys, I'm looking forward to seeing what your next adventures are going to be and how you're going to deal with the Dane of the Black Ice, Barrack Hammerstone, and see what you encounter on the journey underneath the Dwarven Valley. So, Hobbs, John, Jeff, Andrew, Dave, and Mo, thank you so much for joining me today. And the last thing I'll mention, too, is for those of you who are joining us on Mr. Hobbs' Gamerhood, be sure to click on follow if you don't want to miss any more sessions of this on his Twitch channel or any of the other awesome games that Hobbs runs on his channel. And I'd ask you to consider subscribing because that helps Hobbs create the awesome content that he does or that he shares. So with that, guys, let's bring it to the end. Once again, thank you so much for those who joined us. We appreciate you joining us in chat. I'll try better next Sunday to keep track of what's going on in there. Until we see you again, we hope that this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. And until we see you next time, happy gaming.